Information System Auditor from ICA, specializing in areas of audit and assurance practice, has been addressing almost all the branches of SIS of ICA on the topics of bank audit, audit and assurance standards, accounting standards, tax audit, corporate audit, due diligence, review and code of ethics. A visiting faculty in Institute of Cost Accountants and Company Secretaries, C&AG, Staff Training Colleges of RBI, Indian Bank and Indian Overseas Bank, has co-authored a book on bank branch audit released by CASC, Chennai. Have been part of groups of ICA on various topics of professional interest on guidance notes, revision, corporate audit, accounting and auditing standards. Have been cooperated to various companies of ICA, Delhi and SIRC on corporate laws, members in industry, CPE, etc. from time to time. Have been cooperated as a member of Center for Audit Quality Directorate, ICA for the year 2023-24. Have been a convener of Chartered Account Study Circle and have conducted many workshops, seminars and annual conferences. Have held positions of Treasurer, Secretary and Vice Chairman and Chairman of IFA, SIRC. He is presently Treasurer of International Fiscal Association, India branch, New Delhi. Has been actively involved in Lionism and regular blood donor and also a consistent contributor to social needs of the society. With this brief, I introduce Sri R. Sundara Rajan to his August gathering.
Thank you very much, sir. May I request Raghu Kumar Reddy to present the speaker with a shawl and memento, along with the Sundara sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. Very, very difficult task in the afternoon. Two, there are multiple difficulties for me. One is very many people are familiar to me, number one. Number two, it's a postal session. Number three, it's LFAR. Because this LFAR has not undergone any changes at all. For donkey's time, it has not undergone a change. But before proceeding further on this topic, I would like to thank the organizers, SCRC, to give me one more opportunity for sharing my thoughts here. At the same time, I would like to thank all my gurus, including my firm where I did my apprenticeship, Mr. K. Srinivasan, who has been helping me and advising me on all the bank audits at that point of time. That is a fundamental base which has taken me to this level of standing before you just to have the sharing of thoughts. It is not that we are going to have a topic or addressed by a speaker. Basically, it's a sharing of thoughts. Because the long form audit report has been there for quite some time. Morning we had two interesting sessions. One is of Suresh and another is on audio, on artificial intelligence, which is very, very important. All these things we have to utilize it here in the case of a long form audit report. So as far as this long form audit report is concerned, I am here to talk to you on this LFAR and advances. That is a portion which has been given to me. The LFAR itself is very high nowadays. Before that, the first two slides will be for ensuring that we are having lighter version, because we have to come to the level of reading. So that's basically interesting in respect of the advances. Before going into the advances, I talk about this banking environment literally. This is known to all of us. I am having all the senior members here. There are few junior members here, so I wanted to ensure I spend a couple of minutes on this. The entire loan portfolio of an organization is divided only into three categories. One is term loans, another is demand loans, another is bills purchased. Any loan for that matter will be fixing in one of those items only. There is no harm at all, there is no confusion at all. As far as demand and term loan is concerned, whenever a term loan becomes overdue or whatever, it becomes a demand loan. And CCOD is in respect of the working capital facility. And the last one is bills discounted. Bills discounted includes Indian bills as well as foreign bills. Why are these things? This is the basic thing for which us to understand the next level of what is going to be the classification of the LFAR is concerned. So once again, advances I am dividing into various categories on the basis of funds. On the basis of funds, it will be funded and non-funded. Actually, funded advances I was talking to you about direct, term loans and ODs, etc. And non-funded is LCs and PGs. All of us know, even though for a moment of recollecting all these things. Secretary sir, what is the time for me?
1 hour 15 minutes.
1 hour 15 minutes, okay. Because that I have to take it in advance. Because I don't want people to go out before that. And based on geography, inland and export, all the local advances and export credits by way of backing credit and foreign bills discounted. On the basis of security, secured and unsecured, of course there are additional items by way of guarantees by other companies and guarantees by government and guarantees by state government, etc. For a moment, we will not bother about that. And next is priority and non-priority. This priority and non-priority sector is not very grave area to be attended to, but for the purpose of classification at the head office level, the branch auditors have to report it. Only on that basis will be the consolidation can happen. But the secured and unsecured is very, very critical. So whenever an advance is classified between secured and unsecured, we will have to ensure that the security value which is being taken for the purpose of classifying the account as advances is fully, properly evaluated or not. Very difficult to stay at a place to talk about such a group of people. So what is basically in respect of audit of advances? I am talking about audit of advances literally because they said that there is no specific speaker on audit of advances. We will go to the, apart from that, we will be covering the LFAR also. What is it we are going to do in respect of? இது நல்லா இருக்கா அது இது நல்லா இருக்கா அது நல்லா இருக்கா இது நல்லா இருக்கா எது நல்லா இருந்தானே சார் கண்டென்ட் நல்லா இருக்கணும்ல that is important. So what are the areas which has to be covered in respect of audit of advances? The first item is statements for 31st of March 2022. What are the statements? We'll go to that. Next is extent of verification. Morning you have been discussing about the sampling. What all the sampling to be done? What is the extent of verification is to be there? What are the stages of verification? After the stage of verification, how do you report? And finally, verification of non-funded advances. That is also an important area because that is where there are lots of problems which has been created in the recent times. And finally, indicators of fraud, irregular reports and red flags. The red flags, particularly there are 2 slides for that. That will be going through that in a detailed manner. So once we enter into the branch, as far as advances is concerned, morning it was a very good point. There was a person who was giving away the prize or memento to the speaker. He was talking about that. First, when you go, you please start up with the LFAR, because LFAR itself is a fantastic checklist. It starts with cash and bank balances and it's miscellaneous. So if you cover the entire LFAR, gamut of LFAR, we will be reasonably confirmed that we have done a good audit. Please understand, even if you have gone through the entire LFAR, we will be concluding only we are reasonably covered. Nobody can cover this bank audit in a detailed manner as far as branch statutory audit is concerned within the 4 days or 5 days or 6 days as the case may be. So there is a pressure. So in that situation, there should be an approach to the audit which has to be taken. So whenever you go to the branch, immediately as far as advances is concerned, why advances? Advance is the major source of income. That is going to be the key portion, and our fees is also fixed on the basis of advances only, which is incidental. So we have to go to the branch and immediately ask for these 4 items immediately. One is the sanctioning power of authorities, because without the sanctioning power of authorities, if the loans are given, there itself we are going to have a problem. So branches sanctioning authority, because if you keep asking the information periodically, they will be irritated. So we will have a checklist of items to go and ask that in the first stage itself, so that information can be taken. On that basis your team can work on that. Next is balance sheet and profit and loss account of the previous year. Do we require that? Definitely we require that, because that will give a very good value addition as far as you are concerned. In fact, in a couple of years back, at least before pandemic, we were able to get an audit appointment in the month of March first week itself. In those cases, large branches, we used to go earlier in the month of March itself for a visit, as long as if it is inside the city. If it is an outstation, it is not possible. Because once you go at that point of time, the previous year financial statements can be verified in advance. So that will give you a straight good idea when you have to do the current year audit. And the next one is NPA statement of the previous year. Please appreciate, this is very, very important. You have seen these IRAC norms in the morning. NPA statement of the previous year is very important, because whatever has been classified as NPA in the last year should be continuing in the NPA statement of the first year, this year also, unless and otherwise it is upgraded. Sir, anyway, if it is upgraded, why have to be bothered? See, please understand, LFAR also requires, and otherwise also it is required, that whenever an account which is a non-performing is upgraded, whether the upgradation is according to the norms. If it is not upgraded in accordance with the norm, that itself will be calling for a reporting, number 1, and reclassification once again the MOC. So last year LFAR is important, number 1. And what else is important for that? in the NPA statement of the last year, it will be classified as a substandard. So automatically those which has been classified as substandard will be slipped into doubtful 1 this year. And what is classified as doubtful 1 in the last year will be slipping into doubtful 2 this year. And what is doubtful in the last year, if it is in the second year of doubtful 2, it will become doubtful 3. What is the importance of this? Once again, provisioning is important. So in respect of that you would have seen in the morning, as far as doubtlessness is concerned, provisioning is required on the basis of aging of the debt. So for that purpose, we will have to see the NPA statement. And third important category, important item just we see in the NPA statement is date of NPA. See, it is no more that NPA is going to be classified on the 31st of March or 31st of December or 30th of September as it is. It is not the case. I hope it has been covered in the morning by our 2021 circular, wherein it has been very clearly said that date of sanction or the date of actual date of due, from that it becomes NPA. Maybe on 10th of March or 10th of September or whatever it is, that date is important. That date will be mentioned in the NPA statement the last year and current year also. If you identify some other assets as NPA, date of NPA is important. The last item is once again audit report and LFAR of the last year, which is going to give you real value addition, because the branch manager will always say that, sir, you don't have to bother at all, sir, everything is very clear, you can take up the work immediately and do the thing. That's what he ultimately say. Worst of the branch also, he will say as best of the branch only, because he wants to make you out within 2 to 3 days. So this long form audit report and this audit report, if you see, you may be able to go into the situation whether the branch is really in the same manner what the branch manager is projecting for. So what are the statements as on 31/3/2024 we have to ask? All these things, if you ask and take it in advance, we may be able to cover most of the reports which is asked in the long form audit report. Facility-wise, party-wise accounts outstanding along with outstanding balances, because that is what is important as far as loan verification is concerned. In respect of CCOD accounts, once again month-wise details of debits and credits transaction turnover for identifying the turnover in respect of large accounts. NPA statements to be attested. We have to do the attested function in respect of NPA accounts. List of accounts where regular, ad hoc and ad hoc limits have been given. See, whenever a loan is given, this here I would like to spend some time, because whenever a regular loan is given, it requires a renewal every 1 year. In respect of CC and OD accounts, I am not coming to the term loan, CC OD accounts, every year it has to be renewed. If it is not renewed, it has to be given an extension for a period of say a month or 2 months as the case may be, for doing the processing of the information. See, an account will become an NPA if it is not renewed within the due date, and they are giving 180 days for doing the renewal. In the meantime, the branch will give an ad hoc limit. They will say that it is an ad hoc renewal, it will be done after some specific time. RBI is very, very clear that whether it is ad hoc or temporary sanction or limited review, all these things are okay. Everything has to be done within 180 days. You would have explained it in the morning. But why I am repeating this here is, whenever a limit is there to the extent of 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs as the case may be, they are eligible for a small ad hoc limit of 10% to the extent of 1 lakh or 2 lakh as the case may be in respect of those cases. They will give an ad hoc limit. This ad hoc limit is normally given for a specific period. Why ad hoc limit is given? Maybe a seasonal advance. For example, in case of a textile business, before Diwali they will be giving an ad hoc limit, because this existing limit is not sufficient. Frequent ad hoc is also not allowed to be given. If it is a frequent ad hoc limit which is given, that is an account which is eligible for red flag. So we can assume that one ad hoc balance credit has been given in respect of the CC account, in respect of a textile credit. That ad hoc will be given for a period of 3 months, maximum 6 months. So in those cases, by the end of 3 months, it has to be settled. In other cases, by the end of 6 months, it has to be settled. If it is not settled within that day, 90 days it is going to become an NPA. What is important here is, unless you ask for the ad hoc limits which has been given during this year in advance, you will not be able to assess and finalize the report as far as long form audit report is concerned as far as advance. Last one is where inspection has not been done in the last 3 to 6 months. In respect of CC accounts and OD accounts, I am talking about reasonably large branches. Small branches, hardly a few CC accounts will be there. Wherever CC accounts are there in heavy number, and particularly where concurrent audit is there, this stock inspection has to be done at least twice in a year in respect of large advances by the concurrent auditors. If no inspection has been done in the last 3 months, which itself is going to be a serious issue, because Basically, the loan is given on the basis of the stock's valuation only. If the stock itself is not properly inspected, the entire review monitoring supervision concept is gone. So please examine in the last 3 months whether inspection has been done. If it is not done, why? And you can take up the reason. In respect of the earlier cases also, how many inspections has been done, take the inspection register and take a report on that. Where accounts are drawn beyond sanction or DP power. Of course, these are all available on the information technology reports itself. From the reports, you will be able to identify what is the limit, what is the drawing power. Once again, drawing power is dependent on stock statement being submitted. If the stock statement is not timely submitted, the drawing power will not be fixable. But what will happen in respect of the branches is, same stock statement will continue. That is, whatever the stock figures which I have given in the month of November, they will continue to have it in the month of December also. That you can examine if the same stock valuation is being given in respect of, once again, large advances. All the advances we will not be able to verify, large advances we have to verify. So whenever we verify, please ensure that it is being verified. Where stock statements and book debt statements are in arrear, we are having an option in the, as far as NPA norms is concerned, stock statement should not be more than 3 months old. But does it mean that you don't have to ask for the statement of the month of February? Actually speaking, stock statements has to be taken on month basis from all the large advances. In respect of small advances, probably they can take it once in a quarter as per the sanction, if the sanction provides so. If the sanction says that all the month it has to be given, you have to give it in all the months. There are certain banks who are giving CC accounts on the basis of the property security. In those cases, they give a specific exemption. The stock statement can be given once in a year. So in those cases, you don't have to insist on the stock statement. In those cases also, drawing power is not determined on the basis of stock statement. Drawing power is determined only on the asset value. So in those cases, you don't have to bother. That applies to book debts also. So wherever a loan is given on the basis of the security of stock and book debts being the primary security, leave alone the collateral security, that we are not concerned. Whenever the stock and book debts is taken as a primary security, whether the statements are regularly asked and where it has not been received or in arrear, take down the list. Because those cases, you can examine a bit more. See, these are all indications of accounts becoming incipient sickness. Once it is going to be incipient sickness, ultimately it is called as a potential NPA. NPA need not be, never an NPA is rising in one day, unless the borrower dies or the company closes, etc. NPA is developed over a period of time only. So when, in case of working capital loans, if the documents are not being given, that is stock statement or balance sheets are not being given regularly, it gives an indication that it can become a potential NPA. Where stock audit has not been done. Stock audit, as you know, depending upon the banks, more than 10 crores advances, stock audit is given in certain banks. In certain banks, more than 20 crores advances, stock audit is being done. So, in respect of on the large advances, they should have done the stock audit for this year. If they have not done, take down the list, and that is additionally reportable in LFAR for the last 2 years. Before that, that was not there. Last 2 years, they have introduced a class wherein whether the stock audit is required to be done in respect of places, and if it is not done, we have to give a report. And if it is done, is there any adverse features to others, that also has to be reported. So please ask for what are the stock audits applicable in respect of this particular branch, and has it been done? If it is not done, take down the list. And the last item is particularly the insurance, where adequate insurance has been taken, for which insurance policies has to be given in respect of the large advances. As far as insurance is concerned, don't restrict to large advances, all the advances they should be taking it. And as far as insurance is concerned, I would like to highlight now itself regarding the red flagged accounts. In the red flagged accounts and potential cases, yearly warning signals, they are saying neither under insurance nor over insurance is acceptable. Normally we will say that under insurance is not acceptable because there may be a loss. In case of a loss, average loss will be coming. In this particular circular, in the red flag account circular, they are making it very clear, over insurance is also not acceptable. Why? Ultimately, the intention of the party to do a over insurance is probably at a later point of time, chronically they may claim loss by way of own damages, etc. That's only a possibility. I am not saying that all the cases, but it's an early warning signal. So, insurance has to be adequate. It should not be short, it should not be more. Now we will come to the extent of verification. Any questions on statement of accounts? Of course, the statements which has to be verified, I have given only an indicative list which are important. I have given around 6 or 7 statements to be asked. These are only indicative statements. Depending upon your branch's requirement, you can increase what all the statements will be given. Any specific question, I will be too very happy to have interaction any point of time. There is no requirement that you will have to list out the questions at the end and ask. Because at the end, all of us will go for a coffee or tea. Any questions? Selection of samples. This is not the question of sampling. I am not coming to the question of sampling. Sampling is different. That out sampling your examination, that's different. I am talking about advances. So as far as advances is concerned, what is the large advance? It is defined as 10% of large advances, both fund-based and non-fund-based put together of the branch, or 10 crores, whichever is less. Previously, it was not both fund-based and non-fund-based. 3 years back, they have wanted it. Earlier it was 2 crores, now they have increased to this. 5% was the earlier case, now it is 10%. So, in a particular person has both facilities. For example, they have 1 crore of CC account and 10 crores of LC. So, 1 plus 10, 11. It will be 11 crores will be his advance. So, that person will be liable for covered under the audit in case the branch is having 100 crores advances. So 10% of the advances or 10 crores, whichever is less, 10% has to be included for both fund-based and non-fund-based, both put together. All of the items will be coming under the other advances. What I would like to mention on the second line is concurrent audit report is very, very important wherever concurrent audit is there, because that is going to give you the real value addition. Until February they would have covered the audit and given the report. Please go through the concurrent audit report, that will give you real eye opener as far as this particular branch is concerned. Whether that alone is sufficient? No. It's basically support document given by way of an SA 600. You are protected by way of relying on other auditors' work. But at the same time, that audit is totally different when compared with your audit. Because as far as branch statutory audit is concerned, we are here to say whether the account shows a true and fair view. As far as concurrent audit is concerned, they are examining in each every month whether the monthly transactions are properly done, whether the internal control systems are properly done. That is the intention and contention of the concurrent auditors. But as far as branch statutory audit is concerned, we are giving a true and fair view statement, and more particularly, we are going to talk about the value of the advances, whether the advances which is being shown is having the real value at that point of time. If it is not having that real value, requisite provision has to be done. If the requisite provisioning is not done, we have to do the requisite provisioning. So as far as this extent of verification is concerned, this is for identifying the large advances. But whether the sampling has to be increased or reduced, whether only large advances can be seen, please appreciate, as far as this new LFAR format is concerned, we are bound to verify all the facilities, including smallest of the smallest advances. Why? That's a specific question in the long form audit report. In respect of advances given by the branch, has the process of sanctioning, pre-disbursements, etc. has been fully followed? So, in case of a loan on deposit, take the case of a loan on deposit. Normally, please understand, in our office also, we don't verify loan on deposits, we don't verify jewel loans. Because these are all NSCs, loan on NSCs, etc. we don't verify. Because these are all maximum secure, we don't go and look at that. But now that is not the case. The long form audit report has been amended in such a manner that they are asking us to give a report whether the procedures have been followed. If you don't see at least one account in respect of each and every transaction, how will you be able to ascertain and consider and report that the procedures has been followed? Documentation is becoming important actually, probably that will be discussed by Mr. Ravindran subsequently. Whether in respect of each and every advance, at least 2 or 3 advances we have verified or not. Loan on deposit, jewel loans, loan on NSC, loan on JVP, like that, even consumer credit loans. Normally consumer credit loans is hardly 25,000 or 50,000. We are seeing 50 crore branches or 100 crore branches. We will not see these advances because we presume that this will go out of, when you talk the Pareto's principle, 80-20, it will go out of 20 samples. But it is not the case because the long form audit report now asks you to give a report in respect of all advances. But we don't have to verify all the advances. Yeah, that's very, very clear. We cannot verify all the advances, but we are required to verify all the types of advances, at least a couple of cases. Please understand, this generally people are missing out, even in spite of this amendments which has happened now. So, selection of samples. I am coming to the large advances and other advances. In the meantime, leave alone large advances. In respect of the large advances, say for example in a particular branch, 10 advances are there, that you verify. If in respect of the 10 advances, if the monitoring is not proper, if the stock statement system obtaining is not proper, credit appraisal is not proper, evaluation is not proper, so financial statements are not being regularly taken, in those cases, you should definitely extend the sample. Because if you don't extend the sample, the compliance test which you have done in respect of the large advances is not sufficient. You have to go to substantive testing. You have to increase the sample and examine more samples for getting the comfort level as far as the branch is concerned. Even if the comfort level is not reached, you cannot just like that give a report saying that generally it is being followed. It is not acceptable. We have to make it very, very clear which are all the advances which we have verified, and in respect of those cases, what is the problem which has been verified has to be reported. What are the stages of verification? This is what is exactly important as far as long form audit report is concerned. Whenever a loan is being given, this example I always tell, even a normal money lender, when a person is going to ask for a money from money lender, leave alone this jewel pawnbroker, etc., normal money lender, the money lender does not give the money just like that. He comes to your office and just, sir, I will come to your office. No, no, sir, I will come and take it from your office. No, sir, I will come to your office. He come to the office, sit for half an hour, 1 hour, just ask for a coffee and keep on observing the people who are coming and going. The intention is basically a pre-disbursement appraisal that we don't know. We presume that as if he is a nice person, he is coming and giving a check for us, which is not the case. This is the smallest money lender itself happens. In that case, when the bank is going to fund, can they take a risk of without doing a proper appraisal, etc. So these are the 5 steps as far as a loan is concerned. First is pre-disbursement appraisal, sanction documentation, disbursement, review monitoring, renewal and enhancement, and last is asset classification. Asset classification does not come under the financing requirement. That is going to be the last stage. But as far as these 4 items are concerned, I am going through that detail in a slightly detailed manner. It's not working, sir. Pre-disbursement appraisal. This is very, very important because the entire quality of the asset is going to be dependent on the pre-disbursement appraisal only. If the pre-disbursement appraisal is good, actually speaking, I remember 15-20 years back, I was discussing with the investigating officers. He was talking of a particular bank which has had a lot of fraudulent cases. He said, whenever a loan is given, if all the documents are perfect, there is going to be a small doubt. When the document is not that very perfect, but the borrower is good, the money will definitely come at point of time. So in that situation, the appraisal is going to have the real key portion as far as the bank manager is concerned. So what is going to be done in the pre-disbursement appraisal? I should have a proper application, first of all, because without an application fully filled up, we will not be able to do an appraisal at all. Even take the case of a small purchase of medical equipment by a doctor. He is going to have a quotation, he is going to give an application. In the application he is going to say medical equipment is 1,025 lakhs I am going to buy, for which he has to give a pro forma invoice, he has to give a competitive quotation in case of a requirement, and along with that how much contribution he is going to make the payment and where from the contribution is going to make it, number 1. Number 2, once the loan is given, how the machinery is going to be utilized, and by utilizing what the machinery is going to be utilized, how he is going to generate revenue out of the machinery, because the generation of revenue is going to be utilized for making the repayment. And apart from that, when the machinery is going to be put to use and make that money, how much time it will take for him to repay the dues. All these things is going to be filled up only in the application. And before that, whether he has the capacity to pay that. For example, a doctor is there who is starting the practice only this year and he is not having any specialty, he is only an MBBS doctor. And an MBBS doctor need not go for an ECG machine. I am just telling you a classic example. An MBBS doctor need not go for an ECG machine. If a cardiac doctor, he has to go for an ECG machine. But cardiac doctor need not go for an EEG machine, which is required by a neurophysician. Like this is to be filled up in the application form, what is required. I am just taking an example of a doctor only. Same thing is extendable for an engineer, same thing is extendable for a builder, same thing is extendable for a company also, or for a factory also. So whenever, for example, a person is there who is a trader. Why I am taking an example is, by taking an example, you will understand faster. That is the reason. A trader is there who has been doing a turnover of around 5 crores. He comes and says, once I am able to establish a factory and manufacture the product, I may be able to make the turnover to the extent of 25 crores. Whether he has the capacity, he has the connectivity, he has the approval from various people. If I am doing a manufacturing of this mobile, if I am doing take the case of a Purvika mobile. Purvika mobile is only a trader. Purvika mobile, if he says tomorrow he is going to start the production, whether it is possible, it is not possible. People are looking only for a product like Samsung or Nokia, as the case may be, whatever be the names which is there. Whether Purvika, if you put a brand, will you be able to sell tomorrow? Because $1 million question. So when an application is made by the applicant, the bank manager is supposed to verify in the predisbursement appraisal whether the application has been fully filled up. If it is not fully filled up, I will not be able to appreciate and examine whether that are possible or not. Timely preparation of the proposal of grant, renewal, enhancement or refreshment as a loan, as the case may be. Basically, all the working capital loans has to be renewed every year. So, I should not, as a branch manager, all these things, please understand my dear friends, all these things has to be done by the branch manager. We are supposed to verify whether the branch manager has done this. We are not going to verify all these things. We are going to say whether the branch manager has done the predisbursement appraisal in a proper manner. The question is simple. Whether in respect of the advances examined by you, whether the branch is in the process of examining the predisbursement appraisal in a proper manner. This is a question. For answering that question, I have to examine whether these things are done or not. An appraisal, whenever an appraisal is made in respect of working capital, if it is a term loan, you will have to see the ratios by way of DSCR. If it is a working capital, you will have to see the MPBF and CAS forms. You will have to examine the CAS form, CMI data, examine whether the turnover projected is achievable. For example, today I am having a turnover of 10 crores for which I have a limit of 3 crores. 3 times of the 1/3 of the turnover, I can go for a loan of 3 crores. For a moment, let us understand. Next year he is saying that he is having a property security, no doubt at all. He is having a property security. But he comes and says, next year my turnover is going to be 50 crores. Whether it is achievable, what is that he is going to do? He is going to have an extra showroom, or he is going to expand his selling business activity? How he has projected that? So in that, justification is not there. The increase of turnover is not justifiable and the loan cannot be given. Past dealings of the borrower, very, very important. As far as this one particular borrower is concerned, if the past dealing is good, you can continue to fund. If the past dealing itself that is somewhat shaky, you have to examine whether this person is eligible for an enhancement or even a renewal for that matter. Board resolutions, of course, board resolutions and documents has to be given. Financial statements, tax assessments, visit report by the branch. Very, very important. Very, very important. As far as any stock statement is given, they will give any report in the stock statement, unless otherwise it is audited by chartered accountant. Forget about those cases. Normally, stock statement they keep on giving a fixed figure. In that, they will say at sale value they will pick up in certain cases. In certain cases, they take ad hoc figure. But when you take the stock statement and there is a financial statement audited given by them, when you compare these things, will you be able to identify the difference or not? Please appreciate, CARA 2020 also has been amended in respect of corporate auditors, corporate clients. Whenever there is a difference between the amount reported to the bankers and what is reported in the books of accounts of the company, if there is a difference, you have to report. In fact, this is a very good reason for us to ask for the audited financial statements in respect of corporate clients. Go through the CARA specifically, and if they have reported that there is a discrepancy in respect of the figures reported in the balance sheet and reported in the annual accounts and the statement given to the bankers, that itself is going to become a big question mark. Because earlier the quarterly inventory will not be done. I am talking about small and medium sized companies. I am not talking about larger companies where it will be in ERP. They will be able to take figures in a press of a button. There may be different frauds there, different difficulties there. I am not going into that picture. But normal course, in respect of the stock statements verification, the figures will be available in the press of a button as far as SAP is concerned. Whereas in case of people like where we do audits also, small and medium practitioners, small and medium clients, it will be only in tally. They will not have an inventory based tally also. In those cases, how the stock statement has been given, in the stock statement, it is not that stock figure is alone given. Stock, there is last year debtors, current year collections, and creditors and purchases. All these things are given in the stock statement. Even though it is called a stock statement, it is not stock statement, it gives all the working capital parameters. MSOD is the monthly operational data. They are going to give the MSOD. So in this MSOD, you will be able to cover everything at all. And in that basis, whether these financial statements given by them, tax assessment, not only financial statements, there are cases where financial statements are signed by chartered accountants in the earlier case and the same figures are not being reported in the tax assessment. In the same way, in case of GSTs, etc., Form 9. I am talking about last year. That is, when you are going to do the audit of March 2024, the renewals would have been done only on the basis of the financial statements of March 23. So we are supposed to see March 23, for which GST returns also, annual return also would have been filed. Please ask whether the branch has examined the figures which is being reported in the earlier year CMA and current year figures are matched. For example, when they have gone for a renewal in this 2022-23, they would have given a projection to the extent of annual turnover is going to be 5 crores, 6 crores, 7 crores, 8 crores. Whether they have achieved, whether they have achieved 5, 6 or they have not achieved 50% also. If they have not achieved 50% also, the limit earlier given itself has to be reduced. Or if they have been able to achieve the turnover, then the loan pay. Whether they have achieved the turnover, it is not sufficient to see the financial statements only, you have to see the tax assessments also. Credit reports. Credit reports is required particularly in respect of new clients and also in case of takeover cases. Wherever loan is being taken over from another bank, credit reports are required to be seen whether the branch has verified the credit reports. As far as we are concerned, we have to see the sanctions are being done at the regional office or central office as the case may be. But they are not having the data as far as this particular borrower is concerned. The data is available only at the branch level and branch is the only person who can do an appraisal. Whether the appraisal note prepared by the branch, because whenever you go for an audit now, the branch will say, sir, the sanction on the head office is sir, sanction on zonal office is sir. No, only branch will make the appraisal. On the basis of the appraisal note only, recommendation will happen by the regional office and on the basis of recommendation, zonal credit committee will give the go. But these people, as if we don't know anything at all, they will come and say that it's sanction of the head office sir. We don't know anything at all, which is not the case. Appraisal has to be done at the lowest level only. So whether the appraisal note prepared by the branch given to the competent authority is properly done or not, whether the projections are realistic, which I have already told you, net worth statement of the borrower. Very, very important. Net worth statement of the borrower, depending upon which the borrower's credibility is being established. Whether the net worth is going to be signed by a chartered account or not is $1 million question. I am not coming to that. In my opinion, net worth of an individual cannot be signed by a chartered account at all. Even if it is signed by a chartered account, we should have to take it with a pinch of salt. Because as an individual borrower is concerned, we will not be able to ascertain whether this is the only liability which he has. Because we are not going to audit the financials of the respective person from the individual's auditor's point of view is concerned. So as far as bank audit is concerned, bank branch audit is concerned, if the net worth statement is signed by a chartered account, he need not be sitting satisfied. Because bank branches are always saying, sir, everything is certified by a chartered account, sir, then what do you want? It is not the case, sir, please understand. Just because a chartered account is signed or just because another person is signed, here SI 600 is not going to help you. That is relying on another auditor's product, which is not going to help you at all. We have to realistically examine whether the net worth of the borrower is correct or not and verify whether it has been reasonably given or not. And then NOC from the existing pocket. Whenever a takeover is happening, the other banker should give an NOC and also should give a classification of the existing loan. If the loan is already a non-performing asset or a substandard asset, I don't have to take over at all. If it is a standard, and also he has to give a reasonable satisfaction that is an account is reasonably good. He will not say that is the best of the account. That is not going to be there because already you are going out of the branch. He will not give the best of the opinion. But that is required. Adequacy of the security. Whenever a loan is given, if the security is not adequate, both collateral as well as primary security, the security itself is not sufficient, loan cannot be given. But there are situations wherein the original sanctioning authority himself is going to say 50% of the security is sufficient. But it depends on other cases. There is a case, very, very leading company in Chennai. they were not willing to give the inventory other than inventory, they will not give any security at all. Bankers have agreed because they are good enough and they have been repeatedly honoring their commitment. There is no issue at all. So it is bankers' call whether collateral security is required or not, whether sufficient security is required to be given or not. But as far as a branch audit is concerned, we are bound only by the sanction ticket. But for preparing the sanction ticket, the appraisal note should have been properly prepared. So as far as we are concerned, when we do the LFAR, we have to examine whether the appraisals has been properly done, including the ratios. As I told you, in case of a term loan, DSCR has to be verified. In case of a SCC account, your current ratio and liquid ratio has to be examined. If that is not properly verified or appraised, then the entire appraisal itself is wrong. If the appraisal is wrong, the loan is potentially become a bad at a later point of time. So these are the questions in long form audit report. All of you know, but I just read what I have seen in the earlier slides. This is what we have to do in case of credit appraisal. For answering these questions, has the branch generally complied with the procedures, instructions of controlling authorities of the bank? What, in your opinion, are the major shortcomings in the credit appraisal? So we have to report after verifying that the stock statement is not taken or the application form is not fully filled up. They have not given the supporting statements as far as this pro forma analysis is concerned. What will be the negative items if it is there? If it is not there, you don't have to give. Have you come across any quick mortality in accounts? I will have to explain to you about this quick mortality. Most of you know, as I told you always, this LFAR is a very, very old matter. All of us know about this, but there are new concepts which are recently coming. This quick mortality is one item. Any loan which is becoming a non-performing asset within 1 year of sanction is coming under quick mortality. Why they are asking us to report? This is a new addition, sir. Please understand, this is a new addition in the last 2 years before LFAR. Before that it was not there. This is a very, very critical item which you have to understand. If a loan is becoming within 1 year becoming a non-performing asset, basically an appraisal is a problem. This is what I said. Whenever an appraisal is good, accounts will continue for longer duration. Within 1 year, if it is a quick mortality account, we have to consider and examine, we have to expand the scope of examining the credit appraisal in respect of those places where there are lots of quick mortality accounts. 1 or 2 is not an issue, and quick mortality, you have to examine what is the reason also. A person has been given a loan, he dies. That is not coming under quick mortality even though it becomes a non-performing asset. We have to report in quick mortality, but that is not going to be taken as an example for the purpose of expanding my scope, because that is out of the control of the neither the control of the branch manager nor the control of the auditor. Whether in borrowed accounts the applicable interest rate is correctly fed into the system. That is, whenever previously we have not been verifying this, basically fed into the system is red mark as I have done. They are asking us to examine whether it is correctly fed into the system. What do you mean by correctly fed into the system? All of you know the loan is given linked with BPLR. So whenever they say 1% above BPLR, you have to mention specifically as 1% above BPLR. On that day, if it is going to be 10, is going to be the BPLR. If it is filled up as 11, physically 11, it is wrong. It is not correctly filled up. So in respect of loans sanctioned during the year or renewed during the year, we are supposed to go and examine the system whether they have filled up that day. Only to the extent, please understand, only to the extent advance is examined by you, not in respect of all the advances, because it is impossible to do that. So in respect of accounts examined by you, whether the interest rate has been correctly fed into the system. Correctly fed means not the rate, it has to be linked with the BPLR as the case may be. Because whenever a BPLR changes globally, it will be modified. They will come and say always, whenever whether sir interest is calculated correctly, sir, he will say correctly only, everything is done in system. So as far as system is concerned, it is correctly done only. But please understand, it is all garbage in, garbage out. If you enter the data in a wrong manner, the output also will be in the wrong manner only. So we are supposed to examine whether this interest rate is correctly fed to the system. Previously we will not be verifying that because it was not part of our exam. We will say that it is in respect of revenue auditor's responsibility. But now they are asking you a specific question, you have to answer. So in respect of accounts examined, we are supposed to go and examine whether the interest rate is reviewed periodically, wherever interest reviewing is happening in respect of global norms, etc., whether it is reviewed periodically. Have you come across frequent renewal or rollover of short-term loans? Very, very important. Frequent renewal, I'm sorry, it's not frequent renewal, frequent overdrafts. It's a small error.
frequent overdraft, that is TODs they are giving periodically. In those cases, it is potential danger because a loan is given for an amount of 10 crores. The 10 crores has been given only after detailed appraisal. Then why are they coming and keeping and asking for 1 crore temporary figure? Better, they ask for a 15 crores evaluation. When they examine for 15 crores evaluation, credit appraisal will not come. It will not be proper. So what they will say is, this is basically a hand-in-hand matter between the borrower. Sir, உங்களோட லிமிட் வந்து இவ்வளோ தான் சார், இந்த பிரான்ச்சில் வந்து 5 கோடி ரூபா கொடுத்தாலும் ஈஸியாக கிடச்சிடும் சார், வாங்கிடுங்க. அப்புறம் நான் அப்பப்போ 10 50 லட்சம் தரேன் அப்படின்னு. They keep on giving this 50 lakhs continuously. They give it. It's within the power. See, when the loan is there for 5 crores, up to 10% the branch manager has the power. It's not that there is no power, but at the same time the power has to be used for only emergency purposes. And if it is periodically given for the whole year, at least every 3 months they come and settle. How do they settle? We don't know. They settle. Next day they once again give another circle, another rollover. This is going to be a red flaggable account. A red flaggable account. So for that only they are asking us, have you come across either frequent overdraft or rollover of short-term loans is being given, whether correct and valid credit rating has been fed into the system. $1 million question. Please understand, I will not be able to say whether it is a valid credit rating because we are not credit rating agencies. But wherever accounts are required for going for CRISIL rating or ICRA rating, when they are given a rating, whether the rating has been correctly filled up, I can examine. I cannot say whether it is correct and valid. Is it possible? In my opinion, it is not possible because we are not here to examine how the valuation is being done. Because all of us know how a big organization was credited as AAA plus on one day. Within 1 week, they reduced it to B minus. How did they do that day? And 1 week later, we don't know. So, I am not comfortable with the second portion of valid, but the question has come, we have to give the report. But as far as we are concerned, please examine wherever rating has been taken, and then first of all, wherever rating is required to be done as per the controlling authority is concerned, whether rating has been taken, that is an important area. And once the rating is taken, whether that rating has been filled up, because depending upon the rating only, interest rate is itself fixed. Depending upon the rating only, interest rate is fixed. So please ensure that the interest rate credit rating is properly filled up in the accounts. Sanctioning and documentation. Once again, sanctioning within the delegated powers, important. We are supposed to report on that also. Disbursement shall be in line with the terms of sanction. What does it say? So your loan is given for a particular person to acquire an equipment. In that situation, the money has to be directly going to the supplier only. In case of a housing loan or a building loan, money has to be paying directly to the building contractor only. The money should not be credited to the party's current account or SB account as the case may be. This can be a part of the sanction. Like that, any number of terms and conditions may be there. So they are asking us, disbursement shall be in terms, one more disbursement possibility. Each and every disbursement, the borrower has to pay 10% in advance. Then I will have to pay, that is he has to pay 10 lakhs, I will pay 25 lakhs. That can be a part of the condition. Whether it is in line with the term, whatever be the term, as far as we are concerned, sanction ticket is got. As far as branch statute is concerned, only 11 says, we are not bothered about detailed verification in respect of how the sanction ticket has been given. We are not bothered. The sanction, once the sanction is given, whether the credit appraisal has been properly done, that we will be examining for the matter. What sanction is given, whether sanction ticket praharam ella nadandrukan pathana porom, adula idu or important item. Disbursement shall be in line with the terms of the sanction. All charges are collected. Execute all the documents as envisaged in the sanction letter has been taken. Stroke legal report. Nowadays, in respect of large advances, they are also having a report called complaints report. They are taking a complaints report. After completing that, a lawyer is being given or an audit has been given. It is called as credit complaints report. Whether all the documents which are envisaged in the sanction has been taken or not. In that report, they will say these two items have not been received. So in that situation, when you are doing an audit, you have to examine that these two items is still not yet received. Or if it has been received, you can note down in your records and say that it has been received. If it is not received, you have to give it in the form of a long form audit report. Our ICICI Institute guidance note is also giving a detailed checklist, but that is very comprehensive. That may not be applicable in respect of all the banks. The bank's list is final as far as that particular branch is concerned. List out the deficiencies in documentation in the long form audit report. We have to give the deficiencies. there is a standard format which has been given in respect of generic comments. Generic comments. For example, the insurance is not adequate. There is a one standard form in which you are supposed to mention all the names, etc. Insurance is inadequate, insurance is over, insurance endorsement is not there, insurance endorsement of the banks. Like that, whatever be the specific general remark, you can give it. But if you have additional comments to be given in respect of each and every borrower, that you have to give it in the form of an annexure only. Additional documentation in respect of consortium advances. I hope all of you know about consortium advances. In respect of large advances, multiple banks join together and do consortium advances. In those cases, additional documents will be taken by way of comfort letter, etc. Whether those documents have been executed or not, tripartite agreement, etc. Ensure lien is marked on deposits. As far as loan on deposit is concerned, as I told you, we don't see loan on deposit in a detailed manner, but at the same time, nowadays we have to see at least few accounts in the loan on deposit, and in those cases, we have to examine whether the lien marking is done inside the system. It is no more, because deposit itself is nowadays electronic deposit only. Nobody is giving a fixed deposit receipt, etc. So whether this lien marking has been done in the system, because the deposits are encashable in any branches as far as today's corporations are concerned, as far as any bank is concerned, it can be encashed in any branch. If the loan is given and it is not clear marked in the system, the potential danger is that loan deposit itself will become unsecured. Normally it is not going to happen, should not happen. Verify margin money brought by the borrower. So whenever a loan is given 25% or 33%, that material is only a tailored loan. That we don't have to bother. Once they say 25% margin has to be given, 25% margin has to be given. Each and every time, each and every disbursement, there are certain projects wherein they say, you bring the entire money, from next time onwards, we will pay fully. In certain cases, periodically, you pay 25%, I pay 75%. So in those cases, whether that margin money has been brought in by them regularly. As far as corporates are concerned, whether charges are created with ROC. Very, very important, because without creating charge, the loan is becoming unsecured only. Let us be very, very clear. In case of a dissolution of a company or IBC reference, the loan for which ROC charge is not created will become unsecured and it will be ranking pari passu with unsecured loans and money will not be recoverable at all.
CERSAI is also there now.
Now CERSAI registration is also there in respect of property registrations. That's also, you can examine whether it has been done. CERSAI. Ensure documents as per sanction letter. These are all the list of documents. I have given the circulation, you can go through that. Example, I have given this in respect of disbursement to the third party. That I have given a material I have already given, you can go through that. I don't want to spend more time on this. What is questions in the LFAR as far as sanctioning is concerned? Credit facility sanction, whether you are observed in respect of advances examined by you, whether any loans are given sanctioned beyond the delegated authority. This is what I said. The first stage is to take the sanctioning power of the particular branch. On that basis only you have to examine that. Or such cases reported promptly. If at all I have given also, they have to report to the regional office and get their confirmation. I have given this, please confirm. They will give the ratification, because no branch is going to give a loan just like that. Unless otherwise the head office people are tracing them, they will not give it. So if they give it, they have to document it in proper manner and take the ratification from them. Advances disbursed without complaint is the in respect of advances examined by you, whether there are any disbursement which has been made without complying with the terms and conditions. What are the terms and conditions? As I told you, their margin money to be brought in, or capital to be increased, or they are supposed to give the encumbrance certificate. There may not be encumbrance certificate. There may be some endorsement in respect of the property. Stock audit has to be done. There can be a number of terms and conditions where a loan is being given. Take the case of building loans. Approval has to be, final approval has to be taken. If the final approval only, then only the loan can be given. Please understand, there is a huge project which is going on in Punamalai Road. It's in the court now. The approval itself is questioned, is being discussed. That should not be a situation where in respect of a property. Pollution control, in respect of factories, whether pollution control board has been, approval has been taken. Like this, there may be so many conditions. Please go through the sanction. They would have put conditions for the purpose of disbursement. Whether those conditions has been complied or not, it has to be reported by us. Banks provided loans. There's new question which has been asked, whether the bank has given any loans or overdraft for buyback of shares. Buyback of it's not OD, buyback of shares and securities. Normally it will not be applicable in respect of branches. It will be done under the loan officers, etc. But let us understand for a moment. What is this? Whenever a company is going to buy back its shares, they have to do it only from their money. They are not supposed to borrow and do it. Some places it has happened, so they are putting that ball into the courts of branch auditors. Please give this report also, because we are the only person who are willing to take up any agenda, any additional responsibility. We are willing to take it up, so we are supposed to give a report. This was not there in the earlier LFARs. In documentation, what are the questions which is being asked? Credit facility released by the branch without execution of necessary documents. So once again, necessary documents is going to be given the sanction letter. All the documents has to be taken, and then only the credit facilities has to be released. Deficiencies in document by non-registration of charges, non-obtention of guarantee. This is also important. Wherever a guarantee has to be stipulated, maybe for third-party guarantee or collateral security or another corporate guarantee, whether the guarantee has been taken or not, then only the disbursement is being made. Advances and lien on deposits have been granted without lien marking. So once, of course, you cannot verify all the loan on deposits. Whatever be the loans which you are verifying, you have to report and examine whether lien marking has been done or not. And coming to an important area, review and monitoring. Appraisal has been done, sanctioning has been done, disbursement has been done. With that, this branch manager's responsibility is over. But the next manager comes and say whether this particular party is doing the proper operations, what has been envisaged. For example, it is, of course, not in respect of the existing borrowers. It is applicable in respect of existing borrowers also and in respect of new borrowers also. Because existing borrowers, they have given already projections to make a turnover of X amount of increase in turnover in every year. On that basis only, the loan is also given. Whether they are going according to the norms, we have to examine in case of monitoring. It's the most important stage of a particular banking norms of advances, wherein any transaction susceptible to fraudulent activity, we have to report to RBI. You can examine accounts, you may be able to appraise. Whether I will be able to identify in every case, may not be. But wherever you are able to identify a case where there is a possibility of susceptible to fraud, how do you ascertain a case which is susceptible to fraud? Frequent stock statement, wrong statement given, frequent overdrawings. Once again, you go to the particular circular industrial reply accounts, there are 42 items which are available. I am listing out few items in one of the slides subsequently. Whether any of those items are there, it is susceptible to fraud only. Check bouncing, frequent check bouncing in a case. Frequent check bouncing, money not rotated regularly, that is turnover is not fully, that is, they are having a turnover of 10 crores. But in the bank accounts only 6 to 7 crores are coming, which means 3 crores is not coming here. There are two possibilities. One is it is not collected at all, or it is being deposited in another bank account. Some other bank account which is having a current account where no liquid with this deposit account. Justify the end use. So wherever a loan is given, end use of funds is definitely required. That has to be verified. Once again, it is not your responsibility whether the branch has the verification of end use in a regular manner. Direct stamp receipt from them and also acknowledgement from them regarding the supply which has been made. Prompt reporting, wherever the branch is having issues, they will have to give prompt reporting. Exchange of information on consortium advances. Wherever consortium advances are concerned, this bank is giving an amount of 10% of the loans, the other bank is having 20%, other bank is having 30%, lead bank is having 50%. There should be an exchange of information between the parties regarding all the documents that has been received. Invariably, it is not happening. That is why the consortium concept has almost failed in most of the banks. But it is still happening only in respect of very large advances, wherein no bank is willing to take the entire risk. So it has to be split to various people, so banks are dividing that. So wherever consortium advances are there, please ensure that it is being, exchange of information is happening between the branches. Renewal of working capital every year. See, working capital is always renewable in once in a year only, except in respect of certain advances where they are giving loan for 2 years also, 2 year cycles also. But wherever a period is given for the working capital, it's normally 1 year, it has been renewed every 1 year. They should not take up the purpose of renewal after 1 year is completed. They have to complete 1 year month before itself. That's what is one of the earlier items, whether the timely renewal process is taken. The branch is supposed to take timely renewal process 1 month before itself they have to take it, so that within 3 months, a maximum of 6 months, which is the time limit given for the purpose of NPA norms, they get the approval. Because branch is not the sanctioning authority, somebody is sanctioning authority, they have to collect the information. One more item as well as long form audit report is concerned is, please understand, whenever a renewal or enhancement is happening, you have to take the latest audited balance sheet. Previously, this was not the situation. Previously, there was no even the earlier year's balance sheet will be taken and current year provisional balance sheet will be taken. It is not possible nowadays because the sanction or renewal or disbursement can happen only on the basis of the latest audited financial statements. For example, in the year of 2023-24, they are given a sanction. They have to have at least March 23 financial statements audited. If they have taken up the sanction in the month of May 2023 itself, they may not be taking 31st March financials. In those cases, 31st March 2022 is okay. So there should not be huge gap between the time of sanction and the date of the balance sheet. Periodically obtain financial statements, stock statements, etc. and compare with the projection trend. So statement la vaangivanga, but they don't compare at all. Vaangi, I will develop it. We have to examine whether they are comparing with the earlier projections given or are they comparing with the financial statements. Invariably, many of the managers do not have time, that's what they say, because they are more into the business acquisition only. But we are not here to examine, give them any pity or whatever it is. If we give the pity to them, we will be pitied at a later point of time. So please ensure that you verify that in a proper manner. That is once again, yeah.
In the case of loans disbursed during the audit period, that the LBOs should be verified by the auditors.
As far as branch statutory is concerned, we are not here to verify any of these securities, etc. We don't have to verify. In fact, unit inspection is also not required. But if you get a doubt, you can ask for a dues to be verified. But only thing is, as far as we are concerned, we are going to work only on documentation. Wherever, for example, in case it's a flat buying, the end users ultimately money is given to the builder and they get us a receipt also, and the project is happening and some photographs will be given. That is sufficient for us. In case of a missionary, they have to give an installation certificate. There will be an installation certificate, will be done by, I am talking about large missionaries. Small missionaries, it may not be the situation. For example, they are buying a Xerox machine. There may not be any installation certificate at all. So they give a staff receipt, that itself is sufficient. But at the same time, if you get a suspicion, because one machine is installed, but after installation, for example, during the year of 2023, in May 2023, when disbursement happened, the entire year, not even 1 naya paisa has come. If you want to go and verify, you can verify. Nobody is restricting you to verify, not verify. You can verify the end use, you can verify the unit, you can verify for unit inspection, but we will not have time. So please restrict yourself, but at the same time, if you get a suspicion, go for a unit inspection. Otherwise, unit inspection itself is not required as far as you are concerned. In respect of large advances, wherever a stock audit report is showing lot of negative aspects, those cases you can examine for verification. And if there is an inspection audit has been done by the head office inspection, they have come and observed the branch is not properly examining the end-use of funds. So in those cases, you can ask for end-use of funds. At least 2 items you take us, I would like to verify the end-use. You can. You have the authority, you have the but only thing is we don't have the capacity because we have only 4 or 5 days to be done. So in those cases, we will not be able to complete that in a proper manner. But if you get a suspicion, please ensure that you verify that also. Withdrawal, that is whenever transactions in respect of CC account is concerned, cash withdrawals on a regular basis or cash deposits has to be examined. But at the same time, I have a word of caution. In respect of certain businesses, it will be collected only in cash, payment will be made by way of check. Take the case of a petrol bunk. Petrol bunk, collections will be coming by maximum by way of cash. So the cash deposits will be happening. But payments will be made only once in a week to IOC or as the case may be. In those cases, there cannot be cash withdrawals at all except for the salary payment. That also nowadays everything is done online. There are certain business activities where only cash, that is the sales will be done only by way of cash. For example, in the case of petrol bunk is cash. There are certain cases where only cash payments will be made. Take the case of an oil merchant, oil producing company. They will be buying products from the agricultural sources. They will be making maximum of cash payment only. but their collections will be coming from established oil making companies. So in those cases, you can be rest assured that collection has to come only by way of check, that can be by way of cash. So depending upon the case, you have to change your system of verification. Nowadays, builders, there is no cash transactions at all, because beyond 2 lakhs, 216 ST is going to attack. So previously at least cash collections was there in respect of property sales also. Nowadays it is also not there. Cash collections have almost stopped. So please ensure that in respect of CC accounts and OD accounts, there is not much of a cash transaction. That itself is going to be a danger scene for them. Comparison of movement of stock statements, book date statements. For a year you can go and cross verify it. Many banks insist that book statements shall be done by an auditor. If there is a book statement certified by the auditor, please examine whether the auditor has explained it clearly, because the book dates of less than 6 months only will be eligible for limit. So when they give a total book date statement, some 3 crores of book dates is there, they have to examine and they have to say what is the amount which is eligible for drawing power. On that basis only drawing power has to be quoted, number 1. Second issue is in respect of, just because in out of 3 crores, they are saying 1 crore is less than 6 months, their drawing power is 75 lakhs, and the loan is also given within 75 lakhs only. But that will not solve your problem. Why this 2 crores is there in respect of more than 6 months, and how long it is outstanding? If it is outstanding for more than 2 years, there is every potential danger that it may be having an impact on the financials of the company, because it has to be written off at that point of time. So it can have a sickness to the company, ultimately it will affect the bank's recoverability also. So don't presume that just your your drawing power is sufficient. That is not going to end up the matter. You have to examine whether the debts are reasonably good and recoverable. Verify stock includes unpaid stock. This is $1 million question between bank to bank. Certain banks say that I am not interested in unpaid stocks, etc. Whenever a loan is being given, whenever a product is being purchased by the borrower, rights of unpaid seller is always there. Whenever a purchaser is taking the product from the supplier, bankers have the responsibility, no doubt, but when he supplies, he has the rights of unpaid seller. So the creditor is the paramount importance. Even though at the time of liquidation, creditors become unsecured, that's a different issue. But on a running account, on a going concern basis, creditors have the right of unpaid seller. So he can come and say that if you don't make the payment, I will take the product away. He can take the product. I would have already funded, bankers have already funded the money, he would have drawn the money, but ultimately the product also will be taken back by the creditor. After that you go and blink saying that I have supplied the machine, where is the product? The product is already gone, he has taken away. So please understand, whenever a loan is given in respect of primary security of a collateral, primary security of a stock, please ensure that it's paid stock and it's not an unpaid stock. So wherever CC, the drawing power is there, a sufficient margin is being kept. If it is 25% or 30% or 33% as the case may be, whether the sufficient margin is being kept, ensure the stock is not obsolete or unsaleable. So the stock statement will have to keep on monitoring whether there is a continuous accumulation of stock. The stock has to be matchable with the turnover. But if the stock keeps on increasing and the turnover is not increasing to that level, that should definitely raise an eyebrow of the particular bank manager, and bank manager should have asked that question. If he has not asked the question, let us ask that question now. Physical verification of security provided. Please understand, once again I repeat, we are not here to verify the security at all. We are only examining whether the branch management is periodically verifying the securities on a regular basis. Once in a quarter at least they have to go and verify that. And once again, one day they are going and verifying after 30 units of inspection is a humbug. If they record as if they have verified the entire 30 units, it's a humbug, it is not right. So the examination has to be reasonably okay. But what happens is, the branch management and the field officers go for inspection, they go around and examine and come back. Whether the stock is belonging to them or not, what is the records which they are verifying, nothing is being verified. Whether, at least they are going and physically verifying and the product company is running, it's in a proper running condition. I can share a classic example wherein KCC itself has become wrong. Normally key cash credits will not go wrong. But in one particular case, KCC itself to the extent of 3-4 crores was lost. Why? The KCC was given for a company who is doing camphor manufacturing. Camphor is liable for evaporating if there is a small gap also. This unit was not inspected for more than 7 or 8 months, including the concurrent auditor, because they were assuming it's only a KCC. What is the purpose of verifying? It's anyway, it is available in a dual custody only. But in that case, stock itself has got evaporated. It has become a big fraud. Of course, 4 or 5 years back, it's not a fraud, but the manager was suspended because he has not taken the necessary requirement for his inspection. So as far as you are concerned, you examine whether the periodic inspection is being done in respect of those branches. Non-corporate entities. In respect of non-corporate entities also, audited financial statements has to be obtained wherever it is a working capital advances. So there are 2 questions which is always asked by the people. What is called as audited financial statements? Sir, in respect of less than 25 lakhs cases, non-corporate entities having 25 limits or over, the turnover is only 1 crore, sir. Even tax audit is not there. We are going on 44 ADA or 44 AD as the case may be. Why audited is required? RB, this of course a very long old recommendation, tandem core recommendation. Originally it was 10 lakhs, now they have increased to 25 lakhs. There were confusions between the banks. Certain people are continuing as 10, certain people are making it as 20. Now RBI has made it very clear that LFAR they have made it as 25 lakhs. So 25 lakhs limit, the accounts has to be done by audited statement. What do you mean by audited statement? Any audited statement means true and fair view only. That is checked and from correct, extracted from form correct, and just a seal and signature, and auditor signing is not acceptable. It has to be signed by only a chartered accountant with a urine. Without a urine, if you have a, because it is all happening, please understand, for non-corporates, see, when it becomes a problem only, we are finding it difficult. They are saying that, in fact, one of the cases they were asking, what is that you have signed? Tell me what is that you have signed. Because only a seal and signature is there. And furthermore, in certain banks, only auditor is signing. Auditor means semi-qualified people, they put as an auditor. Of course, it is not applicable in respect of metropolitan countries, we presume. But even here also it may be there. In case of semi-urban areas, we are able to understand a lot of cases wherein an auditor board will be there, he puts a seal and signing. And the branch manager is also very happy to keep it because he wants only a sign. Who is signature? No problem. Nowadays, please understand, the union has come, we have to insist on union. In metropolitan city, it is becoming over dangerous. What they are asking is, in respect of a signed financial statements with union, they are sending the copy of the financial statement, ask us to certify as a true copy. That is what is happening in Chennai. So, in smaller places, the basic audited balance sheet itself is not taken. Please understand, in case of non-corporate entities, of course, non-obtention of financial statement, audited financial statement by a non-corporate entity will not make it as bad debt or NPA. We are not required to do that. But in those cases, we are supposed to report in the LFAR only. Beyond that, nothing is there. But as far as non-corporate entity is concerned, it's bound to have a problem that the audited financial statements will not be there at all. Interest is collected, any other irregularity, if there is there, you have to report. Accounts overdue between 3 and 6 months and more than 6 months. We have to give an aging analysis. Debtors, creditors, aging analysis. We have to give an aging analysis of overdue between 3 and 6 months and beyond 6 months. Anyway, beyond 6 months, it would have already been classified as non-performing asset also, but still, in the LFAR, we are supposed to give a report. Obviously, when you give a report in the LFAR, you can immediately think whether you are classified as NPA there. You give a report here that it has exceeded 6 months and you don't give a report on the non-performing assets or MOC we have not given, it's going to be a serious problem. You yourself committing in one particular place, an account has crossed 6 months without a renewal, but you are not classifying it as NPA, it's going to be a serious problem. Financial statements, I have already explained this, once again I am repeating. In respect of corporates, whether the financial statements is according to Schedule 3 and also CORO 2020, particularly that class wherein the financial statements and the reported, quarterly information system given by the banks, given by the borrowers to the banks, and the figures are matching. If it is not matching, audit is going to give a report. If the auditor's CORO report gives a negative point, please examine those cases in a detailed manner because definitely it is going to be a potential danger. Timely recovery. The question is whether timely recovery of all dues, including credit card dues, is there. But credit card dues is not all there in respect of any of these banks. You don't have to bother. But there is a question. You can mention that whether legal action in recovery wherever authorized is done. Example. It's only example. SARFASI, DRT, NCLT, IBC. So they are asking us a question. Wherever it has been authorized by the higher authorities to go for the legal case, whether the legal case has been done or not. So we have to examine from the head office correspondence or the inspection report, etc., to examine what all the accounts has been sanctioned for legal action. Legal action can be DRT, SARFACI, or NCLT or IBC, any case for that matter. Wherever it is done, whether that action is being taken or not. If it is not taken, we have to give a report. Whether NPAs are reported promptly to the controlling office, automatically it is getting generated and reported, but still they are asking us to report, please ensure that it is being reported. Whether any rehabilitation has been done in respect of NPAs, with respect to NPAs. See, wherever an account is becoming NPA, definitely rehabilitation or restructuring as the case may be will be done. Wherever it is done, they are asking us to report whether rehabilitation is done, and if rehabilitation is done, whether it is done in accordance with the norms. Please, once again I am telling you, it's a sanction ticket is priority. Whenever a sanction ticket is given, according to that whether there is rehabilitation is being done or not. OTS. Whether OTS has been done by the branch, and wherever OTS is beyond 50 lakhs, we have to give a specific report. But please appreciate, there is no OTS at all in banking norms. One-time settlement with 3 months payment. One-time settlement of 6 months payment. Like that only it is happening. Nowhere it is coming as one-time payment. So, concept is one-time settlement. Agreement is entered into between the borrower. That is, the loan was 10 crores with interest, etc. It has become 16 crores. Now we are entering into OTS for making payment of 12 crores in 3 installments. Whenever that such of cases is there, please note down and report it. More than 50 lakhs, we have to give independent reporting. Less than 50 lakhs, we have to give a consolidated number reporting as far as LFAR is concerned. These are the questions in respect of LFAR. I will take only the important questions which is being required. Our stock statements and book statements are received regularly from the borrower. Regularly, whether it is monthly or quarterly as the case may be. Advances to NCI, I already told you. Due diligence report in respect of consortium advances. So wherever a sanction ticket gives a stipulation of having a due diligence report, whether due diligence report has been taken or not. Last one is red flag accounts. I will talk about it separately. Yeah. Red flag accounts. The question in LFAR is whether the branch has a system of red flagging the accounts. Then we have to understand what is red flag of accounts. This is a circular in respect of red flagging, master directions on fraud. In that, para 8.3.1 and 8.3.2 talks about red flagging. What does it say? An account is red flaggable if any of these early warning signals are appearing, and samples of early warning signals is given in Annexure 2. I have given this slide, I have separated this slide also. So please note down this circular. Circular is very old, 2016-17, but still it is relevant because after that there are no fresh circulars. It has been amended. Originally it was given in June 2016 and in July 2016, then it has been amended by June. But that is available in the website. You can go and examine that. They have given 42 items of early warning signals. If any of those early warning signals are there, there is a potential danger that account become a red flaggable account. So what we have to examine is whether any of those items are coming in respect of the advances examined by us. I have given only a few of the items which is there, which is directly very favorable in case of advances. Major borrowers from the 50 to 75% advances does not pursue recovery of overdue bills. Overdue bills are always becoming overdue and then only money is being collected. Overdue means that this bill is due, discounted on 1st of January and it is due on 1st of April. Money is coming only in the month of April end or May. That itself is not a problem. It's not coming under non-performing asset. It becomes a SMA 0 or SMA 1 as the case may be. But as far as we are concerned, if the bills are always continuously recovering only after the due date, that itself is a problem. It's possible that account can be red flaggable. Stock statements not received in time, and yet drawing power is continued to be given at the same time because they go and fill up the same stock figure as given in the last month. That is the reason. See, there is also a situation wherein a stock statement is not given, a drawing power is exceeding, interest rate has additionally to charge 2%, but no bank is charging literally, because they go and fill up that figure of last year's stock statement itself there. In those cases, you can report it here. Account is continuously overdrawn. Checks bounce. See, continuously overdrawn beyond out of order for that 90 days, it becomes NPA. I am not coming to the picture. Out of 90 days, 86 days, it is becoming overdrawn. 87th day, they make it regular. So continuously, if it is always on SMA 0 or SMA 1 or SMA 2 itself, is dangerous. Account has to be fully regular. It cannot slip to SMA 0 or 2 itself. Checks bounce due to insufficient funds frequently. Of course, 1 or 2 occasions is not an issue, but if it is a frequent check, all this list is not my list. This list is given in that particular circular of 42 items. I am picking up only the critical items directly level for the advances. Checks deposit not honored or return unpaid. 12 months turnover not commensurate with the transaction in the company bank account. That is, turnover is given as 3 crores, but in the bank statement only 1 or 1.25 crores is coming. That has been coming as red flagging reports. Realization of bills purchased on received after due date cleared by debit to the borrower's current account. Check is returned. After that, it is debited to the current account of the party and it is being changed. Money has to come only from the ultimate customer. If they are, sir, I want debit பண்ணிடுவான். But which means there is every potential that the same thing will happen at a future date also. My account is going to become irregular. All overdue CC limits, overdue limits, unrealized bundled together and granted a WCTR. Working capital term loan is given by combining all these items. WCTR. One working capital term loan. See, working capital is itself given only for the purpose of matching the turnover and the transactions. Once it is not recoverable, it's going to become a problem. By converting into term loan, it's not going to solve a problem at all. That also is going to be a reflaggable account. Stock statement not updated on time, item-wise details not given, lump sum figures are given. The quantitative details, they are giving raw materials 2 crores, WIP 3 crores. What is the breakup? Nothing is being given. This is a very, very dangerous signal because obviously these figures are not going to match with the financial statements. Item-wise, corporate statements, compare statements over a period of time, same sheet with just period changed. Only the period they will change, the figures continues to be the same in respect of stock statements, etc. Unpaid stock not deducted for computing the drawing, which I was telling you in the earlier occasions. Stock includes items financed by huge difference in annual stock statement and monthly statements. Annual, that is at the end of the year, one figure is there. Monthly statements, that is why they give a stock statement on 25th of March. They give the stock statement on 25th of March, but the balance sheet is signed on 31st of March. In those cases, you can ask for the information what has happened in the last 1 week. Definitely they will be able to blink. They will have to blink 1 week. Book debts. Such report from register office not made wherever loan is given to the corporate. Such report has to be taken. Branch is not obtaining NOC from the builder. Once again, go to that circular. The circular has 42 items. Those 42 items consist of few of these items here. Apart from that, there are a couple of cases which I would like to mention also. When there is a search or a raid by any governmental authorities that there is an item which is listed with that. We cannot go and examine for each and every borrower whether any cases raid is there or not. But only thing is, whenever it happens, we are bound to report that. Renewal and enhancement, as I told you, it has to be renewed every year. No time delay has to be there. All the documents are taken in respect of realignment or restructuring as the case may be, if at all. So please understand, whenever a loan is restructured, it will automatically become an NPA. But documents has to be taken in respect of restructuring also. Avoid, that is a loan on loans, that is a time barring document should not be there. So this is regarding the advances verification. If you have any specific question, I will be very happy to answer. As far as term loans is concerned, this periodical repayment has to be there. That is the monthly payment, whatever is required to be done, it has to be done. If it is not done, it has to be 0, 1, 2. But that is not my issue. Once a term loan starts getting defaulted, ultimately the borrower will become incipient sickness only, potential NPA. Yes, sir?
In some cases, I have found that the factory is far off, let us say in Mysore, and the registered office is in Bangalore, and the branch of the same branch of the bank, the lending bank is not there. So they say they are allowed to operate. But the problem is the people are not obtaining the CC statement or current account statement to see whether there is any strange transactions which are appearing on there. Diversions are possible. In this we have to watch.
I was talking about a case of having one account here and current account with another bank. Sir is exactly referring a beautiful case. Current account maintained with my own bank but in another branch which is not being monitored. Definitely there is potential, it can go for a diversion. But what happens is, sir, in the case of large advances, they ensure that the main limit is given at one particular branch and sub limit is given in a lower branch. If that case, they will be under monitoring. But it is avoidable to have a current account only for doing the operation. It's better to have a mini limit in that places. But unfortunately, certain things we will not be able to comment because there is no specific point in which you have to report. As long as from the current account money is coming to the main CC account on a periodical manner, we will be covering up. But only thing is the turnover in respect of the CC account ultimately, whether it is on a monthly and daily basis, money is collected at the smaller branch and on a weekly basis it is being sent to the head office. And if the money which is being sent to head office overall it is covering the turnover, beyond that we cannot see. But it is ideal for the branch management to take the information from the other unit also. Anything else?
Sir, for vehicle loans, whether the sensor registration is mandatory?
No. No, sir.
Wahan is sufficient.
Wahan is sufficient. But one more important point as far as vehicle loans is concerned, that a lot of fraudulent things happen. The branch is supposed to send the vehicle DD directly to the dealer only. But what happens is, in many cases, they give the DD to the person himself. He goes and straight away purchases the car without giving the covering letter. Because DD is given along with the covering letter. But just covering letter, they remove it, that's all. That's why the branch management has been clearly instructed that DD has to be given on account of loan. That has been mentioned in the DD name itself. In that situation, the dealer has to register it in the name of mortgage. Registration has to happen. Anything else? Hope nothing is more. It's a huge area. Advances is a very huge area. Secretary has given me only 1 hour and 15 minutes, so I have to complete it. So
one small issue, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, in the case of CC against receivables, the company is raising invoices on customers, but they are not raising GST invoice.
Sir, it is not possible at all. If at all they have done, it is definitely a serious violation because it's a violation of statutory requirements also. Ultimately, they will be raided. Ultimately, they enforce. See, GST, see, you have to understand today's position, everything is mechanized. So people are totally free, the governmental authorities. They are willing to go for enforcement at any point of time. So this is a matter of time, it's going to be a serious problem. But as far as you are...
They are postponing raising the invoices.
Postponing?
This month invoice is raising the banks, they are showing us receivable to the bank.
It cannot be. See, once, unless otherwise you make the final invoice, it is not receivable at all, basically. Just because, see, what happens in those cases, just by postponing the GST, they are sending a pro forma invoice or a normal. See, this sort of invoice, see, now e-way billing has happened. Particularly in respect of large accounts, it is not going to happen at all. In case of small businesses, it may still happen.
This is service industry. Service industry.
Service industry. Possibility is there,
Yeah.
but very, very difficult. So asset classification, it has to be done in by way of SMA 012, which I already know. Downgrade and uploaded reports. See, LFAR now it has expanded the scope of saying that wherever an upgradation is happening, whether the upgradation is according to the marks they are asking us, even in case of downgrading, they are asking us to comment. Previously that was not the case. If it has been done regularly, we will leave it like that. Now they are specifically asking, please report if the upgradation is correctly done or not. So whenever an account is shifted from substandard to standard or doubtful to substandard also, please examine. Probably you would have been explained in the first session also, there is no requirement of periodical deceleration of the deposit accounts. It can become a standard this year and next year itself it can become doubtful 3. There is no harm. Same way, if you are going to identify an account as an NPA today, but the account has become an NPA 2 years before itself, it has not been identified, you will have to give the date of NPA as 2 years before only, not today. Because just because you are identifying today, it will not become an NPA today. It has become an NPA on that day itself. Only thing is it was not identified at that day. So obviously it will become DD2 now. So in that situation, 100% DD2 means unsecured portion will be fully provided, secured portion will be predominantly like 50%. Restructured and rephased accounts, please whether the reporting is done in a proper manner regularly and RBI guidance and regulatory stand is followed or not, we have to report only whenever a restructured accounts is there, otherwise there is no problem. Upgradation according to norms, disagreement we have to report. So that is, whether the upgradation is according to norms, yes. If it is not, we have to, wherever you are disagreeing, you have to report. Once you are disagreeing, obviously you will have to give an MOC. Please understand, if you are giving a report in the long form audit report, not all the items coming in the long form audit report will come as an MOC. But all the items in the MOC will definitely come in the long form audit report. You have to be very, very clear. And wherever issues are there in long form audit report and you disagree, if it is going to have an effect on the IRAC norms, you have to definitely give an MOC. If you don't give an MOC, you are in for a problem. Because your report itself will accounts where IBC process mandated, not initiated to be reported. Wherever IBC is being done, whether it is reported or not, we have to give it. And more than that, where IBC process is taken by somebody else, whether the branch has involved itself into that account, that even though it is secured advances, they are supposed to be part of the IBC process also. Suit filed accounts. Previously suit filed accounts are audit suit filed case. Now we are supposed to go through that and we have to give a specific report. In respect of suit filed accounts, whether suit filed accounts has been decreed, what is the status of the report, we are supposed to give a report in that, and particularly in respect of concluded cases, whether the appropriation has been correctly done or not. Because appropriation in case of settled cases, maximum will go to the interest and minimum will go to the principal and balance will be written off. Whether that sanction, according to the sanction, whether the treaties are being passed or not, we have to give a report. Previously it was not the case, now it is required to do this. And the last item is very, very important. Yes, sir. Sir, once an account is gone to the ARB, you don't have to bother it, sir. Once an account, see, we are talking about advances coming under your branch only. Once it is in ARB, you don't have to bother it all. What is available in your reports and still it is suit filed and it is in the level of your branch control, only to that extent. We don't have to worry about the ARB. Documents held at centralized processing zones, auditors to asset documents. See, what happens is everything is in RACP, sir. We will not be able to. Indication for me to complete. I understood that because the earlier the Prerna situation has happened. Somebody was say, Allah will know the right of photo for our character, don't worry, sir. RACPC advances, wherever the loans are given at the RACPC level, you are supposed to ask for the documents, and if they don't give it, we are supposed to give a report. Don't have a complacence of not asking the information as far as RACPC is concerned. They have to organize for that because you are supposed to verify the documents in respect of loan sanction at your branch level, wherever it is maintained. If it is maintained at RACPC, take an appointment, go there for the whole day, but only thing is, you make the list ready in advance because you cannot go and ask there, they will not be able to organize it. Because one RACPC will be attacking around 30-40 auditors at that point of time. So you have to give well in time and give it. If they don't give it, you have to report it. Please ensure that you give it in mail to the branch manager earlier day itself. That is on first day itself, you go and say that these are the documents which are required to verify it and give it in writing by way of an email so that he will not be able to repudiate at a later point of time. Because we are supposed to give a specific answer saying that whether it is taken or not. So once again, there is no problem whether CPC documents or IPC, all these things I have covered. I have given few examples of evergreening. Please go through that. What happens is evergreening means money is adjusted from current account to SB account for the time being and next day it is being recredited, etc. I have given certain classic examples which are all practical. It is not from dream I have not brought it. It has been practical cases. In case of agriculture advances, in those cases there is a society, they will give loans to the society. Loans were given to the individuals and the monies have been routed back to the society. It's an agricultural cooperative credit society. Money has been operated like that. It has become sick. So I have given evergreen examples here. Current account to CC account, there is a shifting of happening. All these things are given to you. You can go through that. CC on the verge of account becoming an NPA. a limit or DPO over 90 days, suddenly the branch manager gives a small limit in the month of March. Definitely you can classify it as an NPA and also give it in the long form audit report. They can, on the verge of NPA, SMA2, you can't give it like that. I have some checklists which is very, very important because we will not be able to verify the size of the documents. There is a person there.
Yes, sir.
Is there? But
You
hang-ups are given,
you
sir.
can go and click that checklist on portfolio analysis. The blue button type it in. Mouse, you go and touch this portfolio, Raman. He said he will be there, but he has left.
Another one.
On the portfolio, press பண்ணு. Control pitch பண்ணு.
இல்ல பண்ணியாச்சு பட் அது அங்க டிஸ்ப்ளே வரல கழட்டிட்டு போடுங்க.
Okay, I will explain to this. I have given the checklist also to the branch. Portfolio analysis gives you all the heads of accounts, number of accounts, balance outstanding. On the right hand side in the column you have number of accounts which you have verified and what is the balance outstanding. So in that situation you will be able to compare and state whether 60% of the advances you have examined, whether 60% has to be verified, sir. There is no compulsion. I am telling you only a figure. So in that situation, as far as the branch is concerned, if you are able to verify around 50% of the advances value and you are satisfied with the process, you can leave it like that. There is no harm. But at the same time, all the accounts you have to list out and say that all the accounts have been verified, at least one case in each of the cases. And second item is other large advances check sheet. In the large advances check sheet, we have a standard scenario, what are the items just to be filled up. Because documentation is not that very easy in case of a bank audit because we don't have time. So once you have a checklist readily available, whenever you are verifying through the documents, you can keep on noting down that, from that you can prepare a report. And I have given a checklist for housing loan and other advances. What will be the questions which are available? You please go through that, it is self-explanatory, but only thing is I am explaining to you that checklist is the only method by which you will be able to comprehensively cover the audit. The last number is caconline.org. The current year we have not amended the book, but we are going to update the checklist and we will be uploading in that website probably in the next 3-4 days. By the month end it will be ready, you can do the audit and you can download all those items in from that also. I am not going into this in a detailed manner, but there are certificates which has to be given in respect of claims made in respect of ECGC. Verification of non-fund advances. Only thing is, there are state LCs and PGs which will be available. You are supposed to give the verification. Wherever margin are required, whether the margin has been kept in a proper manner, that you have to examine and report. There is a new insertion as far as the long form audit report is concerned, that I will like to explain it. Wherever a non-fund base becomes slipping into the bank, slipping into the NPA, money is funded, becomes an NPA after 90 days, that's the one issue. But wherever there is an interchangeability as per the sanction, when the sanction itself is given, they are having the option to interchangeable between the working capital advances and non-fund based advances. But in those cases, whenever it is becoming an NPA, they should not do. The interchangeability is on the basis of the cycle of the business, that is the intention. Because wherever there are export activities are happening, they give a importancy, exportancy, all these things they will give it. For the time being, it will be non-funded. Whenever a product comes, it will become funded. That interchangeability should not be happening post-invoking. They are asking us to examine whether the interchangeability of advances happened post-invoking. In that case, you have to report it. So, guarantee is invoked or LC is invoked. After that, they remove it and shift it to LCC account. It's not acceptable. Please, you have to report it. So, special points for take home. Whatever we have discussed over a period of last 90 minutes, I am going to mention that more detailed verification, assessment and commitment has happened in the long form audit report. Previously, it was not the case. Now, it is committed. Previously, we were only saying that in respect of advances examined by you, if there are any observations, you mentioned that. Now, it is not like that. Have they done this? Have they done a credit appraisal? Have they taken the document? Have they disbursed only like that? Previously, it was not like that. Now, it is specific assertion. Please go through the long form audit report questions. We have to report it and we are committing. We are committing in lot of places. Please ensure that you commit only after proper verification. Without verification, if you commit and without documentation, you will not be able to defend yourself at a later point of time. Proper classification of asset has a bearing on the verification. Whether it is a current either NPA or SMA 0 or SMA 1 or SMA 2 standard. Even the standard assets has to be verified. Please understand. Head office inspection report and RB inspection report, and also your revenue report, revenue audit report, all these reports are important. We are giving a specific point on the long form audit report, whether you have gone through the reports and whether any negative points are there. So please ensure that what are all the reports, take an MRL also during the last year, what are all the audit reports, audits which has happened. Independently, you have to list out those reports. Verification of operations is paramount, very important in respect of that is working capital advances. Please ask for the statement of that particular borrower account, go through the operations, examine whether any cash transactions are there, whether the turnover is fully reflected here. Otherwise, you will have to definitely report, and you can take the copy of the document also for your working paper, at least in respect of large advances. Moratorium cases, you have to be more careful. Wherever moratorium is given, in particular in respect of interest also moratorium is given. And in case of restructured advance, when moratorium is given, the money, the account has to become standard only after the moratorium is covered for the last item. For example, first interest is given for a 3 months moratorium, principal is given 6 months moratorium. It can become upgraded only after 1 year of satisfactory performance of the 6 months. That we have to give it as a report in the long form audit report also. Stock audit in respect of NPS over 5 crores. In fact, NPS 5 crores, but normal regular limit itself more than 10 crores. Stock audit is there in almost all the cases. Collateral securities, wherever it has been taken, it has to be periodically evaluated. Not for the purpose of ensuring that the value is deteriorating. There is always a possibility the asset itself may not be there. And whenever collateral security, asset itself may not be there at a later point of time, so it has to be periodically verified. So periodically evaluated means valuer is not going to do valuation without verifying. He will go physically verify and do that. So just to conclude, please document your audit observations, consolidate it, have a discussion, summing up the discussion, have the discussion with the branch officials, because branch officials will subsequently come and say that but only thing is, from our side, please ensure that you give it in the form of a listing, let them give a reply and then accommodate it here, because there is every possibility that both of you can disagree. But let us disagree, agree to disagree. We will give it the report. We will give the report, we will give the report and response also. Review after discussion. Once I give a reply, you review it. Probably you might be required to withdraw also. You might be under wrong impression, you might be required to withdraw. Please withdraw it. Final report has to be given with detailed statistics. Please understand, when you are doing a branch audit, there is another central statutory auditor who will be requiring to depend on your reporting. So in that situation, when you give a report, give a full statistics of a borrower. There is no point in giving only the borrower's name and balance outstanding and give a report. That is not possible. Who is the sanctioning authority? What is the status? What is your comments? And what is the variation? And what is the disturbance which you have in the report? All these things you have to give it in the form of a report. Then only the person who is doing at the central audit will be able to appreciate that point. And wherever required, please give an MOC. I repeat once again, whenever you are having a LFAR issue, need not go for an MOC. But whenever there is an MOC, definitely it will find a place in LFAR. Please report that in a proper manner. Only one item which you would like to say before thanking you is, standard accounts also has to be verified. Previously it was not the case. After the amendment, as far as standard accounts is concerned, top 5 standard accounts we are supposed to give a report. So without verifying and noting down your audit documentation, if you say that you are verified, because normally what we understand, in case of standard accounts, there is no issues at all. That's what we always come to believe, but need not be the case. Standard assets also can give a smallest of the smallest issue. For simple example, insurance would have been expired on 2nd of April. Insurance has been done, expired on 2nd of April. Then they would have taken up. But as far as you are concerned, there is an irregularity. Please give a report. So in case of standard assets, top 5 you are supposed to verify, and you have to list out in the long form audit report. So please ensure that standard assets, like that I am telling you, suit file, previously we have not been verifying, now we have to verify. Standard assets, previously we have not verifying, now we have to verify. Jewel loans, loan on deposits, previously we have not verifying, now we are verifying. So what does it mean? Our scope is expanded. Scope is expanded, our responsibilities are expanded. So once responsibility and scope is expanded, audit is also becoming tougher. When the tougher going gets tougher, the tougher gets going. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Any further questions, I am available here or after that also. I have given my mail ID, sundar@srbr.in. You can post your queries to me whenever I require. I will respond to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sundara Rajan, sir. After post-lunch also, the people listen carefully. Your LFAR. Now I request CA Srinivas, sir, kindly present a memento to the speaker.
Sir, joining. No, and
Thank you very much. Requesting Secretary sir to briefly introduce Ravindran sir.
Good evening. I would like to introduce the veteran speaker, Ravindran sir. But if you read all the biodata given here, his time will over, sir. So just I am briefing it. He is a graduate from Madras University and postgraduate from Madurai Kamaraj University, and chartered accountant qualified in the year 1987. He qualified DSA and insolvency professional, registered valuer, independent director, exam, social auditor examination also qualified. He was in the panel of almost all nationalized and private banks. He carried out all audits. He has given the list. I don't think any type of audit was missed by him. And he was a faculty for all the institutes and boards of ICAI and others. Presented bank audit papers on various topics such as bank frauds, practical approach to bank audit, loans and advances, forex transactions, LFAR, tax audit of banks to branches of SIRC, EARC, NIRC also, of ICAI physically and virtually, and the beneficiaries of chartered accountants and students also. The key role played with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was the chairman of Salem branch of SIRC of ICAI in the year 2017. He was the cooperative member of Banking and Insurance Committee of SIRC of ICAI. He was the cooperative member of the Branch Coordination Committee of SIRC of ICAI in 2021. At present, organizing Bank Audit and Tax Series BATS for Chartered Accountants, which is an all India program through webinars where more than 4,000 chartered accountants are benefited. Other areas covered, he was practicing in income tax and company taxation, bank audit and government society audits. And he was a Golden Club member of Times of India. He travelled more than 425,000 kilometers during the lifetime and visited USA, almost all countries, and he has released so far 182 videos on bank audit, FEMA and peer review in the YouTube channel. The channel name is Ravindran V. With this brief, I introduce CA V. Ravindran from Salem with the service gathering. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Requesting Chandrasekhar sir to come forward and present a shawl and health bouquet to Ravindran sir. Requesting Ravindran sir to take us through audit of books and records.
Thank you, Secretary SIRC sir. And this is my sixth presentation, sixth time I am visiting the SIRC as a faculty, and I am very, very happy to present the paper before my two gurus. One is PR Suresh and Sundara Rajan R, because I have attended their classes at Salem as a participant. Now I am very happy to present before them. I think you are comfortable with Tamil. Anybody who knows, who don't know Tamil, you don't know Tamil. Odd man out. Okay. To start with, I will start with Tamil. Then I will proceed with the entire presentation in English. இந்த பொன்னாடை போத்துனாங்கல்ல, இந்த பொன்னாடை போத்துனதுக்கு ஒரு கதை இருக்கு. ஸோ இன் சிஏ இன்ஸ்டியூட்டில் பொன்னாடை போத்துனா ஒன்றும் கவலை இல்லை. அதே இது ஒரு அரசியல் கட்சியில் பொலிட்டிக்கல் மீட்டிங்கில் யாராவது ஷால் போட்டாங்கன்னா யூ ஹேவ் டு பி வெரி வெரி கேர்ஃபுல். அந்த பாலிட்டிக்ஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னா யாராச்சும் உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஷால் போட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் அந்த கட்சியில் இணைஞ்சிட்டுன்னு அர்த்தம். ஸோ ஐ வென்ட் டு ஒரு பாட்டாளி மக்கள் கட்சியுடைய மீட்டிங்கில் போனேன்னே அன்புமணி ராமதாஸ் அங்கே இருந்தார். அவர் வந்து என்ன பண்ணார், சார் இஸ் ஆடிட்டர் ஃப்ரம் சேலம், மீட்டிங் வாஸ் ஹெல்ட் அட் தர்மபுரி, சார் இஸ் ஆடிட்டர் ஃப்ரம் சேலம் சார் அப்படின்னா உடனே என்ன பண்ணார், சடனாக எடுத்து பொன்னாடை எடுத்து போட்டுனா சார் வெல்கம் டு பிஎம்கே. சார் என்ன சார் சொல்கிறீங்கன்னு, இல்லை பொன்னாடை போத்துனா நீங்கள் எங்கள் கட்சியில் இங்கே ஏங்கிட்டீங்கன்னு. நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், திரும்பி அதே பொன்னாடை எடுத்து அவருக்கு போத்திட்டேன். சார் உங்களை விட்டு வெளியே போயிட்டேன்.
இல்ல புது கட்சி ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு அது உங்களை சேர்த்து.
So whenever you are going for any public meeting or political meeting, you have to be very, very careful. And to start the presentation, and this Tirukural is equal to the bank audit. I want to tell one Tirukural. Karka kasadara karpavai katrapin nirka adarku taga. Karka kasadara karpavai katrapin nirka adarku taga. அந்த குறளை எப்படி படிக்கலாம்? Any try? முழுமையா படிக்கலாம். படிக்க வேண்டியதை படிக்கணும், எல்லாத்தையும் படிக்கக்கூடாது. மசீலா படிச்ச மாதிரி. So the way of presentation or reading the குறள் கற்க கசடர கற்பவை கற்றபின் நிற்காதற்கு தக அப்படின்னா கற்க கசடர கசடர கற்க கற்க கற்றவை கற்றவை கற்க கற்க கற்றபின் கற்றபின் கற்க கற்க நிற்க நிற்க கற்க கற்க அதற்கு தக கற்க. இது மாதிரி ஒரு குறளை வந்து படிக்கும் போது பேங்க் ஆடிட் அதே போல தான், நம்ம லைஃபும் அதே போல தான். ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் அவே we should not take anything directly, you have to read in between the lines. So with this small thing I want to start the today's presentation. Sir, the cover ketene cover. So this is a topic which I am going to present to you, and I can vouch in the entire India nobody has presented this topic. This is the first time, and for us in SIRC this is the second time. First time I presented the paper at Salem branch, my Salem branch, and now this is the second time, but you are hearing for the first time. Nobody can vouch they prepared the topic like this. And you are entering into the branch, what are the records that you have to verify? First thing, what are the records that you have to ask that we do know? We know only cash vouchers, jewel, that's all. Then apart from that, what are the registers that you have to verify? What are the documents that you have to verify? That we don't know. So let me start with the first book or first register. So whenever you are entering into the branch, whenever you hand over the appointment letter to the branch manager will immediately ask you, so which area you want to start? Which area, sir, you want to start? You are entering into the branch. It's all practical situation we are going to analyze. Sir said about red flag account. There is one omission in that 43 transactions. So that's RBI circular which says 42 listed red flag accounts. I have added one thing, and it's an easy thing that is also applicable for the tax audit also. So you compare the sales and debtors. You compare the purchases and stock. Purchases and creditors. You compare the sales. For example, the sales is 20 crores. Debtor is 50 crores. Can you vouch? Can you say that is there any fraud or not? So debtor is 50 crores, sales is only 20 crores. That means, suppose in the case of an export unit, Hawala transaction would have taken place, or over invoicing will be more in order to get more rowdy back. So this is also another indication in red flag account. Okay, coming to the topic, I will start with the cash. Whenever you enter into the branch, the manager will immediately ask you, sir, which area you want to start? Okay, we will start with cashier. So in this I want to tell another practical case which I have faced in my lifetime. So I entered into the branch and I asked, the manager immediately asked me, sir, which area you want to commence? I said, let me say, sir. Then the manager offered me, sir, can you please start with the cash. If any manager is giving any direction, then you have to be very, very careful that there will be some fraud. I can vouch. And if anybody is preventing you from doing the audit or is giving any instructions, then there will be fraud. So this is the basic thing. So there they have entered the branch and sir, okay, I will see later. Then he asked me, sir, can you do the journal verification? I immediately said, okay sir, I will do later. Then after half an hour, I went to the manager, sir, I want to verify the jewels. Sir, I asked you, are you ready to verify the jewels? You said no. Now you want to verify the cash. Sir, I have offered to verify the jewels, you never accepted, so I won't allow you to do the jewel loan verification. So this is also another indication that there will be some scope for fraud. Then I started, I called head office, then got the permission, and he started to allow me to do the jewel loan verification, jewel packets verification. Then after some time when I verified the packets, and even I want to say the slogan of verification of the jewel loan packets. So when the packets are transparent, okay, you can see there are some jewels inside. When nowadays, in most of the banks, the packets are in cloth bag. So you cannot see the jewels, what are the jewels that have been kept inside. So what you do, sir, I want to count the jewel loan packets. In statutory audit, it is possible, you can count only the packets, but in your audit report, either in LFAR or in your separate audit report, you have to specifically mention that I have verified only the jewel packets, I have only counted the jewel packets, I have not opened it, I have not physically verified. Everything that you have to give the comment. The slogan of verifying the jewel packet, I will tell, you have to touch the packet. Normally what we are doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we are doing very fast, don't do it. You have to touch the packet, sense the packet, feel the packet and count it. Touch, sense whether something is inside or not, feel whether it's a jewelry or not, and count. Touch, sense, feel and count. This is the slogan for the jewel loan packets. Then I did this exercise at this branch. Then I have found something is inside which is not a jewel. Then I asked the manager, sir, can you open it? No sir, the permission is given by the head office only to count the jewel packets and not to open the packet. Again the manager has objected. Then again I called the head office. Then they gave instruction to the manager. Okay, you have permitted to open the packet. Then he opened the packet, we opened. Then I found that there's a small stone inside the packet, equivalent to the weight. Then I asked the manager, sir, why are you doing like this? No, sir, this mistake was done by my predecessor. Then I cut quiet. Then after some time, after counting some 20 or 25 packets, again I found same type of sensation. Then I asked the manager, sir, can you open this packet? The manager immediately said, no sir, the permission is given only to open that packet and not this packet. Yeah. So if this type of objections are coming, again, actually I have tested some 22 packets. I found in all the packets there are only stones. So why I am telling here is, you have to touch the packet, sense the packet, feel the packet and count the packet. This is a physical exercise. But I found a fraud to the tune of more than 47 lakhs in the jewel loan packets. This is one incident. The opening remark is, whenever you are starting the audit, whenever the manager gives the direction or whenever the manager objects to a type of audit, then you can definitely presume that there will be a fraud. I am waiting for the cover as I started. So the first thing is you have to verify the cash. At what time you want to verify the cash? Can you have any experience? At what time? Is it opening cash? Then closing cash? Or?
Surprise.
Okay, surprise at what time? Any time. Night 12 o'clock?
No.
During the banking hours. Okay, sir said about surprise checking, and you can do the cash verification at any time, that is during the banking hours. And if you tell the cash verification method, they say that no sir, you please verify the cash in the opening time or in the closing time. If you do the cash in the middle, they will definitely say that yes sir, it will affect our business. Immediately they will object. They will object. Okay. And for seniors, they knew this technique, and for youngsters who are coming to the profession recently, I am going to explain this technique to you. Suppose if you are going to the branch by 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you want to verify the cash. So that method is called as cover method. Anybody knows this method? Cover method. 1, 2, say 3. And lot of youngsters are here. So this is a cover. You just explain this method to the branch manager. Sir, you please come to the cashier cabin and don't enter into the cashier cabin. You are not allowed to enter into the cashier cabin. You have to stand outside, but you have to give instruction to the manager. Sir, please come to the cashier cabin. Manager is authorized to enter into the cashier cabin. Ask him to pull the cash in random. Say 500 some notes, 100, 200, 50, 10, all denominations. You ask them to say this is a cash. Actually, I will take, this is my cash. And ask them to, ask the manager to take all the cash and put the cash inside. Then close the cover, paste it, then you sign on the cover, hand over the cover to the cashier, because during the business hours, you are not supposed to take the cash outside the cabin. In the evening, at the time of closing, there will be some difference between the actual cash as well as the cash that is there in the book. So the difference of cash, it must tally the cash which you have put inside the cover. So you have to remove the cash. Yeah, I removed everything. And you ask for the difference. Then the cashier say that, sir, the cash difference is 1,22,500 rupees. So you have to physically count the cash and see that the entire cash that you have put inside the cover is tallied. So this is the anywhere, anyway, anytime method of cash verification. Is it clear, sir? Any doubt? Okay, what is the advantage of this method?
Shortens the time.
Huh?
It cuts short the time.
It cuts short the time. Then another very selfish motive. The very selfish motive of this type of cash verification is you are counting the cash at the time of the cashier. You are not counting the cash. So you have saved a lot of time. And the only one advice here is that whenever you are doing this exercise, you must be there at the branch. So at Salem and Canara Bank 4th branch, I have tested this. Then in the afternoon I went home. Then suddenly the cashier has got a call from his wife, you come immediately. He has actually forgotten the cash that I have put inside the cover. So I casually went to the cashier around 3:30, sir, can we verify the cash? Then the cashier got annoyed. No sir, that's a very big difference. Please don't disturb me, I will call you later. I will allow you to verify. Then I asked him, have you counted the cash that you put in the cover? Then he said, oh sorry, I have forgotten. Then he started to shout at me. This is a new technique that you have disturbed me and you made me to shoot up my blood, BP and everything. Then I kept mum, because as an auditor, you have to keep mum and you should not show your anger to the cashier. Then after counting the cash, there was a difference of 1,500 rupees. Then I asked the cashier, sir, can I report this? Then he said, because he shouted at me, so we have got the power, we can report it. Then I said, no, sorry sir, just wait. Then he actually identified, then I gave full freedom to the cashier, sir, it is your cash. You please tally the cash and come and tell me. Actually, he has tallied and came and reported that yes sir, cash is correct. So this is the three methods of cash verification. Now I am coming to the topic. What are the cash records? So you are going to the cash verification. What are the records that you have to verify? First is cash vault register. Where is the cash vault register? It has been kept inside the vault. So you have to go and take the cash vault register, see the balances, and see all those the balances must tally with the physical cash. So cash vault register is the first thing. That is, it is kept inside the main cash vault, and to know the stock of cash in all denominations. Then it's a custodian of cash, that is in LFAR, that is one column, whether the cash has been kept under the joint custody or not. So that details you can get from this register, custodian of cash, that is key holding person's details you will find. And these key holding person details you can also find from the key moment register. In key moment register also you can find this. So here the custodian of cash for that day you can identify. If there is any difference or if there is any fraud, that person, those who are holding the cash are responsible. Next one is that it is also another comment in LFAR, whether the cash has been verified at periodical intervals. What is meant by periodical intervals? The manager, he has to verify every month. It's a surprise check. Then after verification of the register, he has to put his signature. Then persons from the regional office, they will come and verify the cash once in 3 months or 6 months as per the head office guidelines. Again they have to put the signature. Inspection team, they will come and they verify the cash register. There also they put the signature. So here another exercise you have to do. So you have to ask your staff to see whether in all the days, whether all the joint holder signatures have been found or not. If it is not found, that means cash has been kept inside the vault without verification of that officer. So that point you can give in the audit command. Next one is, sometimes there will be some cutting will be there or correction will be there in the cash vault register. You verify that cash vault register, that working denomination multiplication also. Even you can, the audit program, you can give this assignment to your staff. You ask one of the staff to physically do the working, multiply all denominations, add everything. And next exercise is compare the closing balance that is stated in the cash vault register with the closing balance that is there in the general ledger. You ask them to verify. You don't verify because it is a clerical role. They will verify. In almost 20% branches, you will find the difference between the cash vault register as well as in the general ledger balance. It is one of the audit comments. Please take this advice. Please check the denomination multiplication, addition, compare the closing balance with the general ledger. And this is also another audit comment in LFAR, verification of periodical intervals. Then in and out cash verification. What is in and out? Where you can find? In means every day the cashier closes the cash. So the cashier hands over the cash to the manager or officer. So the cash which the cashier hands over to the manager must be recorded in the column in. And out means the cash which they have taken in the opening. So the cash that has been taken from the cash vault to the cash operation area. So that will be recorded in the out column. So in cash vault register, all these things you have to verify. And next to register is counter cash verification. What is counter cash verification? Who is having the control of counter cash?
Only cashier.
Only cashier and nobody else. Only cashier, he has got the full control, and the out column must appear in the opening, and in and out, that is daily receipts, daily payments, he has to record in the entire cash vault, cash counter cash verification. At the day end,
he has to physically check the closing cash physically, physical cash available in his hand with the closing balance that is there in the cash, counter cash register. Then after that, he has to hand over the cash to the manager. It's a day-to-day operation. You can verify, and it is under the cashier control. And it is in most of the branches now they are doing parallel system. Few banks they say that it is a system-based. They are maintaining day-to-day, but in all the conventional cashiers, what they do the manual system also. And surprise cash check, euro case. So this is what anywhere banking, anytime cash I said. So if you have got any doubt in the cashier operations, you can do the cash verification at any time. Here I want to share the very big experience that I have got in one of the cases in concurrent audit. So the presentation is applicable not only for the statutory audit, it is also applicable for the concurrent audit, revenue audit, stock audit. For all audits, this presentation of mine is applicable. Here, one customer has daily come to that branch. He deposits around 70 lakhs or 75 lakhs instruments for collection. That is, the number of instruments are more than 200 instruments or 250 instruments. Daily is coming, he is putting those instruments for collection. Then the morning, the branch has sent the instruments for collection, and immediately on sending the instrument, they say that all the instruments that they have sent for collection are being recorded as the shadow balance in that account. Then after some time, the person who has deposited the instrument, he came to the branch and he asked, "Sir, I want 40 lakhs." And the system, if that allows any transaction against the shadow balance, it charges 1 day interest, because no debit is allowed against the shadow transaction. 1 day interest it will charge. So in order to help the customer, what this branch they did, he brought the check and the officer passes the check, and after passing the check, they put the seal as pay cash. Then he hands over the check to the cashier. The cashier has paid the amount, say if it is 30 lakhs or 35 lakhs, he paid the amount to the party, but without making any entry in the counter cash register. Around 2:30 or 3 o'clock, the fate of clearing will be known to the bank. Then they reverse the entry. That is, they are reversing the entry from shadow balance to normal transaction. Only after that they are passing this entry. That is, without making any entry in the cash register, the money has gone out of the bank, but checks are there. He passes the entry only in the afternoon. So thereby 1 day interest is saved for the customer. So this is a regular practice of that bank. So I have gone as a concurrent auditor. I observed, first thing you have to observe in the audit, that is check register, collection register, you have to observe how many instruments have come for collection. In this case, it is almost 200 or 250 instruments daily it is coming. Then you have to probe. What is the nature of transaction that this party is doing? Then I found that it's a parallel banking activity. That is, he's a financier. He gives money only in the evening. He is doing all Hawala transactions, everything. He receives the money, he gives his check, and sometimes he receives the DD and he gives his money. All the anti-money laundering activities are doing it, and he has deposit the money next day to the clearing, and he has withdrawn the money without payment of any interest. Then suddenly what I did, around 12:30, I went to the cashier and asked the cashier, "Sir, please produce your counter cash register." He produced the counter cash register. Then I marked in red line. I draw 2 red lines and I asked the cashier, "Sir, don't do any transaction, don't record any transaction below this line." Then I called the manager immediately and explained everything. Then the manager has immediately objected. "Sir, you have got no right to stop the regular transaction. But anybody who is going for the concurrent audit, please go through the appointment letter. You have got full powers to verify the cash at any time.
It's a specific instruction that you can get from the appointment letter. Then I convinced the manager. Then manager actually what he did, he called the general manager of that bank. It's a private sector bank. He called the general manager of the bank. Then immediately the manager, GM also came and called me, sir, don't interfere into the regular branch activities. It will affect the banking transaction. Then I said, sir, in the appointment letter you say that you can check the cash at any time. I want to verify the cash. If you are objecting to that my style of verification, so I want your staff number, your full name, designation, because I want to cover this point in the fraud activities. I want to include your name in the fraud. Then GM said, okay, no, you carry on. Then we found that there was a shortage of 5 lakhs apart from the checks. What this cashier did, because nobody is there to check the transaction, he gave 5 lakhs excess to his friend in the morning. He will return in the afternoon. 1 day interest he is getting. So this is another way, it's a regular type of fraud that is happening, and that too in the textile industries, textile places, just like Europe, and suppose if it is in Dania, a very big market, you can find this type of transaction. That is in the morning the cashier he will give the customer 10 lakhs, in the evening before closing the cash he will come and remit the cash. So if you are a concurrent auditor, please check the number of instruments that have been sent for the collection, and you see that is there any huge withdrawals have been noted from the account. It's a clear indication you have to probe. So this you can identify from the cash, counter cash verification. Next is ATM cash verification. ATM cash or ledger verification. How many of you have seen this ATM cash verification? What are the procedures that you are carried out? You are entering into the ATM. You know where there's an ATM. You are entering into the ATM. What the first step that you will do?
Take printout of what are the balance.
Take the printout from the machine. Then
we count.
Then you count the cash available at the machine. If there is any difference, what do you do?
We'll ask.
First thing, you take the printout. Then you physically count the cash. So you have to go to the ATM along with the branch manager or officer, because they have got the access to the ATM. They can open the thing. So before going to the ATM, you have to take the printout from the branch. So what is the cash that is available in the ATM? You have to take the copy of the balance from the branch. Now you are having copy. Then you are going to the ATM. You are counting. You are counting the cash. You are taken the printout. You are comparing the ATM cash at the branch. ATM cash physically available. That is ATM cash statement physically available at the branch. You have to compare. Next stage, there is a difference. What you have to do? There is a difference between the ATM cash at the branch statement and ATM balance statement at the spot. There is a difference. What you have to do?
We'll have to take a report in writing. And
you have to take the report and writing. Before that, you have to do
Cash in transit.
Well, cash in transit is there.
No, the branch would have said there is a leak.
Okay, that is also another possible. Cash in transit has not been deposited.
Maybe a transaction after you have taken a printout in the ATM itself.
Hmm.
Somebody should have drawn after you, before you.
Okay, but there is a difference. Further, you have to do the reconciliation. Correct?
Even other branch customer would have.
Yes, sir. There is anything, whether it is from the base branch or another branch also, the money has gone out of the branch cash. So that it must tally, but you have to do the reconciliation. Okay, I do agree. You have to do the reconciliation.
How to do, sir? You have to adjust through switch account.
Huh?
You have to adjust through switch account.
Okay, adjust through switch account. So it's all technical terms, sir. Adjust through switch account. This is all okay, but I am talking very layman language. There is a difference between the balance that is there in the ATM and in the. There is a reconciliation. You have to do the reconciliation. Then my next question is, who has to do the reconciliation? Is it you or branch?
Branch only has.
So here, my suggestion and request to the members, don't do the reconciliation on your own. You have to ask the branch manager or branch officials to do the reconciliation, and there you have to verify it. And you have to verify and say that, okay, this transaction is correct. Sir said a cash in transit, because cash has been sent from the branch to the vault, ATM, but the cash has not reached the ATM, so there is a difference. So my intention here is, suggestion here is, if there is any difference, not only in ATM, in any accounts, you are not supposed to do the reconciliation. The reconciliation work has to be carried out by the branch, and you are there to verify. So okay, this is the thing, and you have to get the address of the ATM, and cash is sent through security team and acknowledge. That also you have to see. There is a ATM cash sent register is there at the branch. So the cash is being handed over to the the security team. They have to acknowledge. What is the another precaution that you have to take as an auditor? What point you have to take, or you have to see here? You have to see whether that security agency contract is alive or not. In most of the branches, the security contract has expired. They send for the renewal. But in the meantime, the branch and the normal course, they are handing over cash to the security teams. So as an auditor, you have to verify the security contract of that security agency. So this you can see from point number B. So cash went through the security team, and they have to give the acknowledgement. Okay, another question. At what time the security team has to go and deposit at the ATM? What is the last hours? எத்தனை மணிக்குள்ள கொண்டு போய் cash அந்த ATM ல வைக்கணும்?
Before sunset.
Before sunset. Suppose if we are in Switzerland, the sunset takes around 8 o'clock. In Indian, so before that is an Indian sunset. You can say, because you are from US, no? You returned from US, that is why you say that before sunset. Before 6 p.m. Because the insurance coverage is available only up to 6 p.m. in India. So whatever cash that has been sent through the security persons, that has to be deposited before 6 p.m. in the evening. If it is not done, then what is the next step as an auditor you have to do?
You have to document it.
Sir, you have to see everything you have to document. Okay, record. Where this cash has been deposited. Suppose if the cash has not been deposited before 6 p.m., then the security guard, they have to deposit in the nearby branches or nearby the bank and get the acknowledgement, and this acknowledgement has to be informed to the parent branch, and in the next day morning it has to be deposited, because the cash should not be with the security persons overnight. So as an auditor, you have to see this point in ATM. Next point is cash sent in time and deposit in time. That's I already said before 6 p.m. JD. ATM cash balance you have to verify. Then ATM complaint and redressal. Within how many days this ATM complaint has to be solved? This is also another audit exercise that you can include in your audit program.
2 working days.
Normally we are not, we are just saying, okay, this is ATM, okay, then we leave. Within 2 days, 24 hours or 48 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours.
2 working days.
2 working days. Okay, let us say there is no, it differs from bank to bank. Sir said 2, anything more or less? Anyone differs? So please participate in the discussion.
First of all, I have got a basic understanding is, ATM, you are referring to an ATM agency which is filling up the cash. There are the nationalized banks, some banks are doing the filling themselves.
Yes, inside the branch. Inside the branch.
Now the concept you are explaining to us is Brink area. There is one Brink area team is there. I have seen from Bombay or other places, where they will be carrying the currency and depositing directly into the ATM machines. The cashier may not have the keys of that. He will do it. He will shut down the shutter, put it and then inform and then go away to the next ATM. This is how it operates in Mumbai.
But who gives the cash to the security
No,
agency?
the security agency draws from the currency
Yeah,
chest.
currency chest.
And
So,
there it will be.
okay. So even if there is any withdrawal from the currency chest also, that has to be recorded in the branch.
Yes.
Okay, next one is ATM complaint are there, then that has to be rectified within 2 working days or 3 working days. It varies from bank to bank, but you have to ask for the complaint register, and if there are long pending also, you have to cover that point in your report. Normally where we have to report this, it has to be reported in the LFAR. In LFAR there is a column. You have to report that. Next one is cash in transit register. So please ask for the cash in transit register. Then the amount taken by whom? Whether the amount is being taken by the branch or amount is being taken by the bank, other banks, or by the security guard. So that you have to take note of it. Then cash sent and recorded and reached time. That is before 6 p.m. it has to reach. Then delay in remittance. Please go and analyze the reasons why there is a delay. Because the cash has been sent around 10:30 in the morning, and even around 6 o'clock also it has not reached. Then you have to analyze the reasons. Then transfer from head office, transferred by head office or regional office. Suppose if some other branch requires cash, then the branch has to get the head office permission or regional office permission. Normally you will get the mail message, you can see the mail message. Then same bank or other banks. Then head office has to confirm that yes, this branch has received the cash. So verification of cash in transit register is also very, very important. And next register is cash excess short register. What is cash excess short register? I think has anybody seen that register? One?
During my internal audit, concurrent audit, cashier will have a separate register where he will be finding excess cash received or short cash received.
So excess, if there is any excess cash, who has to take the excess cash?
No, it has
So
to be
normally in short cash, cashier he will offset the balance.
Yes.
But what about excess? When you are allowing the cashier to deposit short cash, you can allow the cashier to withdraw the excess cash.
No, not permitted.
It's not permitted because a few banks, a few cashier, they say that yes, cash excess. Sir, cash short na cash excess na I can withdraw. But this excess or short, you have to report to the head office or regional office, and the same has to be mentioned in the sundry deposits register or suspense register. So here, date of occurrence, then how many times it has taken place. The cashier in charge, then number of items, number of times it has happened. Suppose there is a frequent mistake of cash and excess short register, that also you have to take note of it and you have to report. And you have to see whether the branch has reported this type of cash or excess short to the controlling authorities. Then release of cash excess to the customer account. So this is a very, very important area because the cashier has said that there is an excess cash he has parked in the sundry deposits. Now they are transferring the money from sundry deposits to the customer account. Then you have to see whether the money has really been proved by the customer that the money belongs to him or not. So this is a very, very important area that you have to verify. So you have to see the cash excess short register. And soiled note register. Within how many days you have to send the soiled note to the currency chest? Once in 3 months or once in 6 months you have to send the soiled note to the respective chest branch or to the respective head office as per the direction. So the soiled note register, it is very, very important. How many of you have physically counted the soiled notes? You are dangerous. You are dangerous. Have you wear mask? Have you cleaned your hands after testing, after checking the soil notes? So whenever you are counting, you are allowed, you can verify the soil notes, and you have to wear the mask, even regularly counting the physical cash also. Whenever you enter into the cash vault, suppose if you are having locker, you are entering into the vault.
you will find a separate or different smell, foul smell you can get. So when you physically count the soil notes or any notes, you have to wear the mask, and after counting the cash, you please wash your hand. Otherwise, you will get all types of diseases. Maybe the cost may be equivalent to your fees. So soil note register is a very, very important register that you have to see. Stock of soil notes and period of holding, how many days they are holding the soil notes. Return to currency chest once in 3 months or 6 months, it varies from bank to bank. And acknowledgement of receipt of soil notes. Suppose if they are remitting the soil notes to the currency chest, they have to give the acknowledgement, and that acknowledgement has to be properly recorded in the soil note register. And in Tamil Nadu, there was a big, almost 35 crores or 40 crores of soil notes have been stolen in a train. I think you heard about this. ட்ரெயினில் சேலமில் தான் வந்து பார்க்காச்சு. சேலம்லேருந்து வண்டி ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகி போகும்போது சென்னைக்கு வர்றதுக்குள்ளே அந்த ட்ரெயின் இதில் கம்பார்ட்மெண்ட் கண்டெய்னரில் என்டையர் கேஷ் ஹஸ் கான். சாயில் நோட்ஸை அவன் திருடிட்டு போயிட்டான். எங்கே போச்சு என்னன்னு தெரியாது. இன்னும் ஸ்டில் the facts are not known. என்ன கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல.
Sir, most of the banks, soil notes are mingled with cash system. They don't differentiate. So it is available in the cash denomination register. Soil notes.
Sir, yes sir, you have to make an entry in the cash vault register. This is the genuine notes, this is the soil notes. These soil notes you have to send to the currency chest once in 3 months or 6 months. It is a duty of the concurrent auditor to see that this program is being followed by the branch or not. Even as a statutory auditor also you can do it. So there is a separate register. You said that these details you can find from the main register. But as a rule, you have to have a separate register for it. Next register is chest branch register. Suppose we are going audit for the chest branch. Money sent from the branches, that records you have to verify, and any money that you have to send to the chest branch, you have to get the head office permission or regional office permission. Then receipt of currency chest. Yes, you said that I have sent a money to the currency chest. You have to get an acknowledgement from the currency chest branch that yes, we have received the money. So you have got the full right to verify this receipt. Then payment from the currency. You have said that you have withdrawn the money from the currency chest. That also you can find from the chest branch register. Then van loading and offloading time. At what time you are loaded in the van and what time it has been offloaded, that also you can find from the chest branch register. Next register is key movement register. What is the importance of key movement register, sir? Joint custody. And it is also another audit exercise that you can hand over to your staff. You can ask them to compare the key movement register signature with cash vault register. In cash vault register, some A and B is signed, but in key movement register, B and C is signed. If there is any difference, you have to report it. It's a gross violation. Key movement register la cash vault la rendu kaiyathu potrukanga A and B na, key movement register adhe date la adhe A and B kaiyathu podu. If there is any difference, then you have to give the report. Next point is, in all the dates of key movement register that have to be signed by the concerned officers. If the officer has not signed, then that is also another audit comment that you have to give it in your report. Person in charge of keys, signature must tally with the cash vault register, and all pages must be signed in and out. Then needed to fix the responsibility. Next thing is here the keys have to be exchanged within how many days? There are original key. There are 2 sets of keys. One set of key is now at the branch. Another set of key they have to keep in the another branch or another bank. The branch which is holding the another key, they have to give the acknowledgement that we are holding the key. So once in 6 months, you have to exchange the keys. Whether that process has taken place or not, that also you have to verify.
that is in the key moment register. Next is cash balance certificate. So after verification, you have to get a cash balance certificate from the branch manager. Then cash retention limit. It is also one of the very important point in the LFAR. Whenever you enter into the bank la poi kekringa sir etana per sir what is your retention limit? What the manager said? Sir 10 lakhs, 25 lakhs. When he asks for the evidence, he will not produce. You have to keep a record. Sir, cash retention limit is there, but you have not produced the retention limit letter. So I am going to record this, but you have to get a letter from the manager saying that, sir, cash retention limit fixation letter has not been received from the regional office. This is also another audit command. If the manager says that, sir, cash retention limit not 25 lakhs now, so anything excess of 25 lakhs you have to report to the controlling authorities. Then controlling authorities have to acknowledge this, but the limit of 25 lakhs have to be fixed, have to be known to you only on seeing the head office letter. In most of the branches, cash retention allotment letter will not be available for your verification. So kindly take an acknowledgement from the manager saying that, sir, I am not having the cash retention limit letter, because this is also another audit point that you have to give in your audit comment. Next one is cash, that is insurance letter. Cash insurance, the insurance actually that is there in LFAR. What the reply you will get?
It's held in head office.
It is held at head office. So normal reply, whenever you ask for the insurance policy, they say that, sir, we have not done any insurance, we have done, only the head office has done the insurance. Then if that is the case, please get a letter from the branch manager saying that the insurance is being taken care of at the head office. So we are not having the control of insurance policy. So please record this. In this insurance policy, if it is available, please see that cash in transit is being covered in the insurance policy or not. Definitely it will not be there. Cash in transit insurance policy la vandirukadu. So please commit this point in writing, and you have to record this in your audit report. So this is an important point that I want to say about the cash. Next area, we are going for another very interesting area, jewel loan. So for what are the jewel loan things we have to see, what are the registers that are there, we have to see. So before going to that, I want to share my audit experience. It's a very good thing. So I went to one of the national banks as a statutory auditor. I handed over the appointment letter to the manager. Then manager gave me a very big cabin. So you go and sit there. Then you do the audit. Then okay, I myself and my team we have entered into that cabin. We just started to relax, because before commencing the audit, we had to have some small discussion. Suddenly one guy came and asked me, "Sir, do you need coffee or tea?" What you will say? You are there. You have gone to the branch. And you got an offer from a guy, "Sir, do you need coffee or tea?" What do you say? Anything of your choice. Then, "Sir, no whiskey." You say. Then, any reply other than this?
After some time. Juice.
After some time. So juice. Then. Huh?
Not now.
Not now. So then I asked him, "Who are you?" So you are not known to everyone. Somebody came and asked you, "Sir, do you need coffee or tea?" Then I asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "Sir, I am the jewel appraiser of the branch." Adoda vitundana paravalla. Next word use, "Sir, the branch is yaru na nana sa badarma pathakare." So I changed my entire audit program. Who is he to take care of the persons who are visiting the branch? I changed the entire audit program. I asked my team to verify the jewel loan alive forms, jewel loan closed forms. Nobody is seeing the jewel loan closed forms. You are just seeing the jewel loan alive, and jewel loan package you are verifying it. So I did this exercise, and I have taken something around some 2 days. My entire team has done this exercise. Then they came out with a conclusion, and luckily I had my classmate who is a retired AGM of Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank. I gave the instruction. He is from the vigilance department. After retirement, he came and settled with me.
Then he checked everything and found that Ravi, there is a 87 lakhs worth of jewels are not there. Because there are 2 bangles in the application, but when they touched the packet, they found only 1 bangle. See, 2 bangles, 2 numbers should be there, but they sent only 1 bangle. So when we counted this type of quantity difference, we worked out it will be around 87 lakhs. We have covered the point in our report and gave a special report to Reserve Bank of India as well as to the head office, and saying that, sir, we have found this mistakes to the tune of 87 lakhs, that is a fraud on test check basis. So you have to use the word very carefully, test check. Because if you say 100% verification, so please play the game very safely on test check basis we did it. So we have reported this, then we have given the report, then we came out, I came out from that place to Salem. Then after 4 days I got a call from that branch. Sir, we have come from RBI and from the head office, we want your assistance. Report கொடுத்துட்டீங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து ரிசர்வ் பேங்க்ல இருந்தும் ஹெட் ஆஃபீஸ்ல இருந்து ஃபோன் கால் வருது. அப்போ நீங்க போலாமா வேண்டாம்? You have handed over the report. It's a very practical situation. போலாமா வேண்டாம்? போகக்கூடாது. Separate assignment. Very good. So I asked him, okay sir, I am ready to come. Please put everything in writing and also you have to pay me the fees. So my report, the contract is over when I handed over the report. Then I said, no sir, நான் எப்படி சார் கொடுக்க முடியும்? நான் எப்படி சார் வர முடியும்? Because here you have reported a fraud. Even I can vouch one thing, even I want to say one thing, auditors are not safe inside the branch when they report a fraud. Your life is in danger. So when you report the fraud, please come out of the branch and report from your office. Even I have got 2 times life threatening. And one is from sitting MP, and previously it was city MP, and one from a very big industrialist. I have got 2 times life threatening. So auditors are not safe inside the branch when they detect the fraud. When you want to report the fraud, come out. இப்போ என்ன சொல்றான்? Sir, please come to the branch. அங்க என்ன டீம் ஒர்க் பண்ணிருக்கான்னு தெரியாது. So 87, I asked them, they said, no, I will not give you. Then you do your duty. Then they found out 1.87 crores of jewels were missing. Then they summoned the appraiser, they summoned the officer, all are hand in hand. Then the appraiser said, sir, I will go for lunch and come back. Then said, okay, you go. We are also hungry. Around 2:30 he left the branch. Even 5 o'clock also he has not returned to the branch. Then the branch manager has sent the sub-staff to the house of the appraiser. That appraiser, this peon has seen that appraiser has got suicide. He has committed suicide. Here, who is responsible for the suicide? Next question I want to ask. It is bank or the auditor. Sir, now audit report of kudukla fraud and kudukla uyirodu irupaan. Who is responsible?
System is wrong. System wrong, sir.
No. This is also another discussion we had.
System la oru mistake irukku. Neenga sonnadhula ipo na solren. Idu neenga panna test check back la yaroda seal irundhudu? Appraiser plus manager
bank manager da seal.
Bank manager panni irundar appadina he is jointly held.
Avaru uyirodu irukar sir. Avaru soodu sonnadama avaru irukar. But ivan romba roshakaran போய் suicide பண்ணிட்டான். உடனே அதுக்கு ஒரு டிஸ்கஷன் வந்து யார் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் அப்படின்னு. உடனே சேலம்ல நாங்கள் எல்லாம் we had a discussion. It came in media. உடனே ஒரு சிலர் நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு நீ தான் அதுக்கு காரணம், நீ ரிப்போர்ட் கொடுக்கலன்னா வந்து உயிரோடு இருந்திருப்பாங்க. So here my suggestion is your role ends whenever you report the matter. You forget the thing and don't have any follow-up action. So okay, what is the reason why he has committed the suicide? Now another question. Enna the suicide ku enna or base reason? Coffee or tea? He asked me, sir, do you need coffee or tea? Anga irundha audit program agudhu. So you have to be very, very careful. The suicide is basic on அவரே வினையை தேடிட்டார். Because coffee or tea வேணுமான்னு கேட்டதுலேருந்து நாங்கள் எல்லாம் செக் பண்ண போய் மாட்டோம். So these are the very practical case that I faced in my career. And now I am coming to the top. Yes sir.
உபச்சாரம் பண்ணனால போயிட்டாரு.
உபத்திரவம் பண்ண அவன் உபச்சாரம் பண்ணதுனால உபத்திரவம் பண்ணவும் போயிட்டான். Okay, here jewel loan application allied. Please see the jewel loan application allied. அதில் என்னென்ன பார்க்கணும் அப்படின்னா மேனேஜருடைய கையெழுத்து இருக்கணும், சாங்ஷன் இருக்கணும், பாரோடைய கையெழுத்து இருக்கணும், description of the jewel should be there. And you have to compare this jewel loan application allied with the stock that has been kept inside the jewel loan vault. Jewel loan இருக்கக்கூடிய ஸ்டாக்கும் இந்த அப்ளிகேஷனும் கம்பேர் பண்ணணும். Jewel loan application must be tallied with the stock at the cash vault, vault register, and KYC of the borrower is must, and weight to be checked. What is the maximum weight that is permitted? That also you have to check it. This work you can give to the staff. Don't do it. But you must include this in your audit program. Next one is gram value and loan as per the head office norms. Appraiser recommendation and branch manager approval. Whether the appraiser has got the power to recommend or power to sanction. He has got the power to recommend or sanction.
Only recommend.
Whether appraiser has got the power to recommend. அவனுக்கு ரைட்ஸே கிடையாது. He says that இதுக்கு இந்த loan eligibility இருக்குங்கிற இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் தான் கொடுக்கலாம் ஒழிய the manager has to decide, okay, even appraiser வேல்யூக்கு தான் கொடுக்கணும் இல்லை, appraiser வேல்யூ விட கம்மியாக கூட கொடுக்கலாம். He can report in a smaller value also. Yes sir. Sir.
The number of touches is less.
Number of
touches.
The
math கம்மியா
purity mark.
அதுக்கு என்ன பண்றது? ஏன்னா இப்ப அதான் ரொம்ப ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கு.
Sir, statutory auditல don't worry about this. You can simply escape that. I have counted the packets. In concurrent auditla, now as per the recent times, once in 3 months, the head office they are carrying out the jewel reappraisal procedure. Once in 3 months. But few banks they ask the concurrent auditor to oversee this experience. So you are not well versed in jewel appraisal. So you can ask the other branch appraiser to come and verify the thing. But recently all the banks now they changed the policy that once in 3 months they are doing the reappraisal of the jewels. So if that is there, you can ask for the record and you can report it, sir.
நம்ம கைடன்ஸ் ஃபார் என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா நம்மள தான் பண்ண சொல்லுது. Our guidance for says high value package should be tested by the statutory.
Sir, நீங்க பண்ண முடியாது sir. You have to start the professional help. இருக்கு sir, but you have to say, sir, அதுக்கு வந்து I will give you another suggestion, sir.
அப்ரைசர் வச்சுதா அப்ரைசர் அவதான் டச்சில கம்மி பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Sir, we are not qualified to say the quality. This is a good
Sir,
quality.
I want to give another suggestion here. There is a Goldsmith examination is there. No sir. Another branch. See, when you want to do it, you can ask another branch appraiser. You can make a request to the regional office, and if at all you want to verify on your own, there is a Goldsmith examination.
Purity testing machine.
Purity test machine. Purity test machine use பண்றது எப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு examination இருக்கு. Sir, don't go beyond sir. In test in statutory audit, you have.
இவ்வளவுதான் டைம் கிடைக்கும். மரைன் பேங்க்ஸ்ல ரொம்ப இருக்குது ப்ராப்ளம்.
Sir, you have to report very safely. That's all. I am not. See, kindly send a appraiser to help me because I am not well equipped. So you give it in black and white.
So can a statutory auditor ask for an appraiser of another bank, not another branch?
Yeah, you can ask another branch, and also in the LFAR section they say that 10% of the funded or non-funded advances have 10 crores, whichever is less. So in that, all the jewel loans will definitely come under the cutoff of 10%. That is 10% outstanding of funded and non-funded loan. There they say that aggregate balance of funded and non-funded, and within bracket it is the outstanding balance. Is it sanction limit or outstanding balance? Outstanding balance. So that thing that is not there in the presentation, that's why I am telling it is the 10% of outstanding balance of funded transaction and non-funded transaction you have to verify, and if you take it, all the jewel loans will definitely come under less than that. And here I want to tell another revenue leakage, because in the LFAR you have to give. But in that also you have to give the test check. I'll tell in the lighter sense I'll tell, sir, ஒரே நாள்ல ரெண்டு லோன் அல்லது மூணு லோன் ஒரே பார்ட்டிக்கு கொடுப்பான். 3 லட்சம் 3 லட்சம் 3 லட்சம் 3 lakhs 3 lakhs 3 lakhs. For each 3 lakhs they will charge you 0.25% as processing fee. When you club it, it will be more than that. So when the limit exceeds 3 lakhs, you have to collect 0.4%. It's a revenue leakage. So in all the branches, they are doing this mistake. So you can report as revenue leakage. Yeah, and particularly the concurrent auditors, you have to be very, very careful, because you have to club the loans. It's a per borrower concept. The customer, if he has received 9 lakhs, you have to collect at the rate of 0.4 and not at the rate of 0.3. So it's a revenue leakage which you can easily identify. And appraiser recommendation, branch manager approval. Next one is, who is holding the jewels after sanction? அதை பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா சார்? காலையில் ஜுவல் லோன் வந்து வச்சுருக்காங்க. ஜுவல் லோன் வச்சோடனே லோன்லாம் பணம் பார்ட்டி வாங்கிட்டு போயிடலாம். இந்த ஜுவல்ஸ் யாருடைய கஸ்டடியில் இருக்குது? அப்ரைசர் கஸ்டடியில் தான் இருக்குது. ஈவினிங் தான் வந்து அந்த அப்ரைசர் வந்து இந்த ஜுவல்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து they are handing over to the bank. Is it correct? Once the loan is sanctioned, it must be kept under the custody of the branch. The appraiser has got no right to hold the jewels. It is also another audit point. You can give it in your report, saying that we observe that the jewels after that is after sanction of jewel loans, all the jewelleries have been kept under the custody of the appraiser till the evening. Then only in the evening they are handing over the jewels to the to the officer, which is against the head office instruction. We don't know whether it's a head office instruction or not. அடிச்சுடுமாங்க
எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரு ட்ரேல வச்சிருப்பான் டேபிள். அந்த சமயம் ஒரு கும்பல் வந்து எடுத்தா இன்சூரன்ஸ் கவர் கிடைக்காது.
Because it's not there is no coverage for the insurance. That's a very good point, sir. So, insurance coverage is not there. So it's another audit comment I am telling. In all the branches, all the concurrent auditors also, you can report this. Jewels after the sanction of jewel loan have been kept under the custody of the appraiser, which is against the head office instructions. Then sanction must tally with the in and out in the jewel loan register. Then borrower signature in the application you have to see. This is jewel loan alive register. நிறைய கேஸ்ல வந்து borrower signature இல்லாம jewels loan கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. So you have to verify the borrower signatures, and also you have to compare the signature. Borrower name is Ravindran அங்க போயிட்டு ஜெயக்குமார் கீழே கையெழுத்தாய். So that is somebody has signed the application. So you have to compare, at least கிறுக்கி இருந்தா ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. So to some extent you can confirm. Next one is jewel loan duplicate receipt. Who has to issue the duplicate receipt, sir? Branch. On the specific request, the duplicate receipt has to be issued only after getting the branch manager permission, and the officer has got no right to issue the duplicate receipt. So if the branch has issued any duplicate receipt, please see the genuine reason of issuing the duplicate receipt. We are not seeing it. We are including me. This I learned in that coffee or tea branch. It's Pudukkottai branch, from the Pudukkottai. So application to be duly signed by the borrower, signature must be verified. From where you can verify the signature, sir? The signature that they are affixed in the application, original application, you have to compare the signature, and branch manager authorization is required. Next one is, see that there is no fraudulent intention. Next one is jewel loan closed application. Please verify this. Jewel loan is closed, you have to compare the signature of the original borrower and the person who has received the jewels after the closure loan. You have to compare it. So you have to do this exercise. I'm going fast. Jewel loan closure must be approved by the branch manager officer. Jewel loans must be handed over only to the borrower. Suppose if the jewels have been handed over to the daughter or son of the borrower, is it allowed?
Authorization letter.
Then from where you will get this authorization?
It should be handed over.
If it is from US, you can get. Is that authorization valid? No. You have to get it sworn before, get it sworn, you have to get the sworn affidavit at that ambassador. US US ambassador sworn affidavit release panna. And also they will ask you to send the mail also. Closer signature to be verified, then closed and released. That is, there will be a closed, account is closed but not released due to dispute of jewels, death of the person, then foreign settlement, and you have to analyze the reason. The jewel loans have been closed but not released. So you have to analyze the reasons. Next one is jewel loan stock register. Yes, sir.
Sir, one of the disclosure I seen in one branch. There was one only thumb impression. Account was closed, jewel loan. Only thumb impression. Then I asked him how this is thumb impression. Is that they told because of death of the borrower, they have released it to the
witness,
to the widow.
Okay. How you say that that lady is the only wife?
But there was no verification, nothing. So I
That's that. I am going beyond your question. How you prove that that lady is having and that person has got only one wife? So if there is LTA is for ladies. Right thumb impression is for the gents. And LTA, if LTA is there, you have to get it witnessed.
Yeah, there was no witness, so he wrote in the
Sir, safe, you report, then it is there headed. Then jewel loan, just like cash stock register, you have to verify the jewel stock register, add all trace stock and see that overall stock must be tallied, and verify the signature of the officers, compare the same, then periodical checking, quantity and quality you have to do it. Next one is tray wise stock. You have to see each and every tray you will get a note and you have to take the note balance and physically count the tray stock and compare the figures. Jewel loan auction register. How many of you have verified the jewel loan auction? Normally we are going for the bank audit. We are just seeing the jewel stock, but nobody is verifying the jewel auction register. There is a jewel auction register. And now, what are the important things that you have to see from the jewel auction? The account should become NPA. Then you have to get the head office permission to do the auction. And before going for the auction, the amount has to be settled. Then you have to release it. Then you have to ask for the tender. Then people, they will come. They participate in the auction. Then the jewels have to be released. So please verify the jewel auction register. Date of becoming NPA, date of information to the borrower with acknowledgement. Normally they give you, branches they will give you 30 days time for the jewel auction. RO permission is required to go for auction. Paper advertisement with full details you have to see. Then repayment done by the borrower before auction. Suppose if it is done before the auction, then he must be removed from the auction list. Then court stay, is there any court stay is there for the auction? That also you have to verify. Then full quantity to be auctioned and not in part. That is, one packet on the jewel packet la valayalum irukku, necklace irukku. Auction பண்ணும்போது வளையல் தான் எனக்கு வேணும், necklace எனக்கு வேண்டாம்னு சொன்னா அப்படிலாம் பண்ண முடியாது. அந்த packet open பண்ணா full packet you have to do it. அதுதானே ஒரு பேங்க்ல என்னாச்சு அப்படின்னா for that bank I went for the internal audit. The manager himself, he opened the packet. He went to the jewelry shop. He sold the jewels. Then he has included that jewels in the auction. So that is also not permitted. But the mistake is he has attached the receipt of the jewels in the packet. So I went for the internal audit. I have seen that. Then I asked the manager, sir, enachi appadina. Illa sir, naane poi vittu eduthu vandha sir. So bank is lost illa appadina. He was removed from the service because that should not be there. And in another case also, what they do the jewel auction. ஒரு நகை இப்போ வந்து 10,000 ரெண்டு பேர் வாங்கியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு நகை வந்து 10,000 rupees இருக்கிற நகை வந்து 13,000 போயிருக்கும்.
இன்னொரு 10,000 இருக்கிற நகை வந்து it goes for 6,000னா இந்த 10,000 13,000 போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த எக்ஸஸ் 3,000 இந்த கம்மியாக போன நகைக்கு வந்து அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுவோம். இதெல்லாம் நடக்கும் ஜுவல் ஆக்ஷனில், இதெல்லாம் நடக்கும். ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ வயலேஷன் ஆஃப் கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஆஃப் பேமெண்ட். ஸோ இஃப் யூ ப்ளீஸ் this year, at least this year, you include the jewel auction register, and if you are going for a concurrent audit, it must be a part of your audit, jewel auction register. Surplus na credit to the borrower upon deficit na required from the other sources. It should not be adjusted.
Sir, invoice raise பண்ணனும்.
அதுக்கு GST வரும். So GST வந்துட்டு பேங்க் இந்த GST போய் கணக்குல கட்டணும். GST வாங்கிட்டு பேங்க் அவங்ககிட்ட அக்கவுண்ட்ல வச்சிருப்பாங்க, கட்ட மாட்டாங்க. So next one is jewel loan scale. Whenever you are going to the bank, you can see the scale, tarasu. In Tamil Nadu, I said it's in Tamil Nadu. You have to this scale weighment procedure comes under the labor laws. Once in a year, they have to weigh, do the license. If renewal license, you have to stamping on the report. Otherwise, if it is not there, then you have to cover that point in your report. Comes under the labor laws. Every year, sealing must be renewed and kept inside the airtight glass box.
The scale must be kept inside the airtight glass box, because otherwise swing will be there, then it show less or more weight. Electronic scale or manual scale is there. Appraiser record. How many of you have seen that appraiser record? An appraiser appointment is valid for a period of 3 years, and once in 3 years they have to get the renewal. And who is the name of the appraiser? Everything that you have to verify. If the appraiser is appointed on salary basis, don't worry at all. If there is an outsourcing person, you have to ask for the appraiser appointment letter. Then there also another thing you have to ask for the valuer appointment letter. You have to ask for the panel advocate appointment letter also. All these things are valid only for a period of 3 years. So every year they have to, once in 3 years they have to get it renewed. So here appraiser appointment, it is valid for a period of 3 years, or in the sanction letter of 5 years, okay. Then after that they have to go for the renewal. But most of the branches, they are not doing or they are not following this exercise. So as an auditor, you have to ask for the appraiser appointment letter, then you can find the mistakes, if any.
Appointment is done by the branch or by zonal?
By the zonal office. Zonal office has got the power from head office. Yes, sir.
TDS price.
TDS la. So it's a very good point. So you have to pay whether the branch credits the commission to his P&L account and makes the debit, then TDS comes into the picture. Normally what the appraiser they will do, they collect the commission from the party and gives credit to his SB account. There is no role for the bankers, no TDS will come.
Branch P&L
branch P&L வந்து டெபிட் பண்ணி கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா TDS வரும். பார்ட்டியிலிருந்து அவங்களே டைரக்டாக கலெக்ட் பண்ணாங்கன்னா கிடையாது. Then also another thing I want to tell, what is the commission he is collecting from the party, that also you have to verify. They say that per lakh 100 rupees. Normally this appraiser he will put 150 rupees. If there is any excess collection, that also you have to report. Please verify the appraiser SB account folio. That is also to be included in your audit program. And the appraiser yaar உட்கார்ந்திருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். Actually, it has happened in one of the rural branches. I went for the statutory audit. I found that the father is being appointed as the appraiser, but son is doing the appraisal. He is having the custody. Then கேட்டேன், எவ்வளோ சின்ன பையனா இருக்கு, உனக்கு யாரும் appraiser நான் கொஞ்சம் ஆக்சுவலாக கொஞ்சம் ஏஜ் கொஞ்சம் இதானதுனால அவன்கிட்ட கொஞ்சம் கமாண்டிங்காக போனேன். உடனே யார் அப்பாயின்ட் பண்ணா அப்படின்னா, இல்லை எங்கள் அப்பா தான் வந்து அப்ரைசரு, எங்கள் அப்பா வந்து அவர் கோல்ட் ஸ்மித் கடை வச்சிருக்காரு, அவர் அங்கே போய் பார்த்துப்பாரு, நான் காலையில் ஆனால் சும்மா தானே இருக்கேன், நான் இங்கே வந்து உட்காந்து பார்த்துருக்கேன். So you have to see the real appraiser, whether he is the real appraiser or not. And also in few branches, that is in the coffee tea get branch, and the appraiser enna pannirukana, he is an outsourcing person. He has appointed 2 staff. So adu permitted illa. Appraiser is an outsourcing person, is not permitted to appoint another outsourcing person. So idana adu நம்ம சின்ன விஷயம் நினைக்கிறோம். But when it comes to a fraud or some big happening, this is all the base. Appraisal record is very much important. So regarding securities, what is the unissued DD, FD, EC, you have to physically verify and compare with the stock. And duplicate keys, we already discussed, one, it has to be kept in the other branches. Key numbers written in the register, period of exchange, authorization letter to deposit the keys, acknowledgement of the letter for receipt of the keys. And balance confirmation, suppose you can get this from the bank balance sheet. Bankers, my balance, sir, how much time I can go, sir? எத்தனை மணிக்கு போகலாம்? எனக்கு நைட்டு 12 மணிக்கு தான் ட்ரெயின். நீங்க பாட்டு பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம், நாங்கள் போயிடுவோம். Another 15 minutes, can I wonder? Or இல்லை அப்படின்னா just I will skip.
Can I ask for coffee or tea?
Get the other bank statement, confirmation letter, branch to do the reconciliation, list of the outstanding unresponded for more than 6 months. So investment record la rendu point da irukku, whether the investment is done on whose behalf. Branch name layer kondu poi podranga alladhu on behalf of the head office, the branch is making the deposit. These two things. Where any investment is shown in the bank balance sheet, you have to ask for the deposit receipt. நிறைய பேர் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வந்து டெபாசிட் ரெசிப்டே இல்லாமல் ஐ மேட் எ டெபாசிட் வித் கரூர் வைஸ்யா பேங்க்மா அங்கே டெபாசிட் ரெசிப்ட். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு ஆஸ்க் ஃபார் தி டெபாசிட் ரெசிப்ட். அண்ட் இஃப் த இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் இஸ் மேட் ஆன் பிஹாஃப் ஆஃப் branch, then the profit interest must be given credit to the P&L account of the branch. In case if the investment is made on behalf of the head office, the interest must be transferred to the head office account. ஆனால் பிரான்ச்சில் என்ன பண்ணியிருப்பாங்கன்னா இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இஸ் பீங் கிவன் கிரெடிட் அமௌண்ட்டை P&L போட்டிருப்பான். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு கிவ் MOC saying that money has been transferred, has to be transferred. Okay, in advances, I think proposal, there is one register called proposal received register. In a main important points, date of application, name of the borrower and address, purpose of the loan amount sought, that is domestic or forex, pre-inspection date will be there, then accept or reject, whether you accept, whether the branch has accepted the loan or not, that will be seen from the proposal received register. So process note, this is also another very big professional area. So I think yesterday I said about this. Do you know about the process note preparation? Have you heard about all youngsters? You can mint money like anything in this work. Process note. So process note is a note prepared by the branch manager before sanction of the loan, after the receipt of the loan application. So normally few managers, they are giving this work to the chartered accountant as outsourcing, and few banks they are unofficially they are giving, and few banks they are giving officially also. You will be paid 5,000 to 10,000 rupees for preparation of process notes. This is also another revenue to you. Normally we are expecting only audit, so only I want bank audit, I want. So there are so many areas in banks wherein you can practice. This is one among the thing. And also in this you have to see the blacklisted customers and willful defaulter list and NPA list, then willful, blacklisted, NPA, all these lists you can find this from the process note. But here this is also another register, another note you have to see, but my intention is the chartered accountants have got very big professional opportunity in preparation of the process note. If you have got very close tie up with the branch heads, you can get this assignment. You just try, you will definitely get. Even I have got almost per month I am getting around 10 to 12 cases.
Who pays this? Bank paid or borrower?
Customer pays.
Customer has to.
Customer pays. It's not a debit to the bank's P&L, but customer, in order to complete the work very quickly, they will refer the matter to you. Sometimes you will be invited to the branch to do this work.
Do we certify that or?
No certification.
Okay.
Only preparation, document preparation now.
On behalf of the customer.
On behalf of the manager.
Manager.
எல்லாத்தையும் ஜாக்கிரதையா பேசணும். On behalf of the customer இல்லை. On behalf of the manager. மேனேஜருக்கு வந்து டைம் இருக்காது. அல்லது வேற ஏதாவது என்கேஜ்மெண்ட் ஆயிருக்கலாம். Sometimes he is not, maybe not technically qualified. அப்போ they will help, definitely sort your help. So this is another register that you have to verify. Next register is loan sanction letter. After doing this, there's a loan sanction letter you have to issue. Sanction letter la enna irukku solli Sundara Rajan sir has explained. Okay, loan sanction letter, sanction details you have to record, terms and conditions, then adhering to the sanction terms and conditions, acceptance of sanction letter by the borrower. Next one is MODT register. This is memorandum of deposit of title deeds register. See, you have to, in Tamil Nadu it is allowed, but in some North India, few states they have not recognized this type of registration. I think in Karnataka also it is not there. So when you are going for the Karnataka or Kerala for the audit, you have to ask whether MODT procedure is there or not. So in MODT register, MODT la main enna paakona, after sanction of a loan, the customer has to go to the register office, he has to register, then that MODT document should be returned to the bank. Normally irukad, adu paat eduthu poirupaan. அல்லது MODT டாக்குமெண்ட் வந்து பிரான்ச்லேருந்து வாங்காமல், ரெஜிஸ்டர் ஆஃபீஸில் வாங்காமல் அங்கேயே இருக்கும். ஸோ ஆஸ் அன் ஆடிட்டர் யூ ஹேவ் டு see MODT registered document whether it has been received by the branch. இன்னொரு பெரிய மிஸ்டேக் ஒன்று சொல்கிறேன், that is outright purchase of house property, outright purchase of commercial property. The bank sanctioned the loan towards purchase of the house. The bank goes to the register office, they release the DD in front of the registrar. After registration of the sale deed must reach the branch. But manager said with some laziness, customer சொல்லுவான், okay நீ போய் வாங்கிட்டு வந்துருப்பா அப்படின்னா, அவன் என்ன பண்ணுவான், டாக்குமெண்ட் அவன் பேரில் போட்டுவான், டாக்குமெண்ட் ரிசீவ்டு, டாக்குமெண்ட் வாங்கிட்டு அப்படியே போயிடுவான். ஒரிஜினல் டாக்குமெண்ட் will not be there in the bank. It's a very big grave area wherein it's a very dangerous area. After the outright sale of property, outright purchase of commercial building, that original document should be with the branch. After that, a fresh legal opinion has to be obtained. Then, after the sale is received, new encumbrance certificate should be applied. After that, fresh legal opinion has to be obtained. So, this procedure you have to follow. Here, coming to the MODT. Then there is a EM register. EM register is there, it is there in the bank itself. So previously all the banks they follow only the EM registration, e-toll mortgage registration. Then Tamil Nadu government, in order to increase the revenue, they have created MODT concept. Next register is loan documents should be updated. All the loan documents should be updated. And loan files list, compare the same with the loan sanction. You are going to the bank. How to start the audit also? You have to go to the bank, get the bank balance sheet, take the total advances. Then after taking the total advances, you have to take the breakup. For each and every breakup, there will be a sublist. In housing loan, எத்தனை housing loan இருக்கு, அத்தனைக்கும் அவ்வளவுக்கும் வந்து housing loan documents are there or not, that you have to verify and compare. If any document is missing, then you have to cover that point in your report. So loan files list, compare the same with the loan limit sanction. Then stock records, there is a stock register with reference to stock audit or stock verification. First thing, stock statement the party will submit. Then the stock statement must be recorded in the stock register. Then after recording the stock register, the manager has to go for inspection. Then he has to give the observation. Then in the stock register, they will arrive at the drawing power. Then based as an auditor, you have to verify whether the drawing power working is correct or not. Then inspection of stock details. Then DP calculation you have to arrive at. Next one is charge creation. There is charge creation. You have to create the charge before the register of properties, register of register of companies. You have to verify that charge creation register. After creation of the charge, you have to take a fresh encumbrance certificate. Then legal notice. I think nobody is seeing this. You have initiated UOC.
ROC charge with 30 days time also.
30 days time with the delay 30 days. Beyond that, you cannot do it. But you have to go to the court and company cycle is clear. 30 நாளைக்குள்ள பண்ணனும் with late ஆன 30 நாள் பண்ணலாம் fees ஓட
56 act படி by paying the fees you can
but 2013 act ல இல்ல
first 30 subsequent 30 அதுக்கு அப்புறம்
இல்ல there's one more question in the examination in the thing நாம படிக்கும்போது 1956 act ல படிச்சிருப்போம் இதே தான் எல்லாரும் கேக்குறாங்க how many I mean who has passed in the first attempt sir here first attempt old person. Then second attempt. Second. See, as our insurance says, we must have depth knowledge. You first attempt pass depth knowledge. So I passed in the 9th attempt. I'm proud to say that. And the book I pass so I have got the depth knowledge. Why I am telling this? Suppose if insurance changes the policy, sir, once in 3 years, all the chartered accountants they have to write once again the examination. Then only you are eligible for the CA. So now, it is very difficult.
2 lakhs will get sent to 20,000.
Okay, so we have to save our certificate. That's a basic concept. Then legal notice on the case filed before court of law. You have to get the advocate confirmation. What is the latest position and everything. 2 minutes more, sir. Borrow a name and address. Legal notice you have to see. Then suit filed register. You have to see the suit filed register. Next register is NPA register. So NPA you can practice. Do you have that is NPA and SARFASI. SARFASI says at the time of issuing 13(2) notice, the account must be NPA. So I actually do the practice in NPA area. Most of the customers they are approaching me, sir, the NPA or NPA illaya. They are paying me 25,000 or 50,000. This is also another area wherein you can concentrate practice. Be thorough with the IRAC norms circular. See, every April 1st, you will be getting the IRAC norms issued by the Reserve Bank of India. For now, this audit is you have to conduct as per the Master Circular dated 1/4/2023. Every 1st April, you will be getting the circular. One guy from Kerala, he approached me, sir, my properties have been attached. I want to come out, so can you come and help us? Then I went to Kerala, he booked everything, ticket and everything, went there. Then first thing what I did, I asked for the bank statement. I verified the date of NPA. On the date of issuing 13(2) notice under SARFASI Act, the account should be NPA. Actually, that loan has become NPA only 2 days after the date of issue of the notice. So the properties have been attached by the court. And even the advocate has received some huge amount as fees to the extent of 25 lakhs. But when I pointed out this, then the customer called the advocate, so whether the auditor working is correct or not. Then he said, sir, it's a very good point, sir, we can win the case based on this. Then the client said, first you return 25 lakhs. Because I have to give the fees to the auditor. You have misled me. So you can do the practice in NPA. So please be thorough with the NPA details, NPA circulars. And also few banks, they are giving the assignment of NPA verification. You will be paid 250 rupees or 500 rupees per account verification. So this is also another professional area, please concentrate. So NPA is not only for the bank audit. If from this circular you can do the practice. NPA verification is a very big exercise wherein you can win money like anything. And actually paper surfacing notice now, if you got contact now, you can contact that party, sir, I want to verify your accounts without payment of any fees. If you verify, if that account has not become NPA, you can give the notice to him and you can also charge the fees. So this is also a very big area wherein you can practice. So NPA register you have to verify, date of NPA, NPA amount provisioning, then acknowledgement of debt or revival of debt. So a DPN is valid for a period of 3 years, and before the end of 3 years you have to get a fresh DPN, that is called as acknowledgement of debt or revival letter, that you can see from the thing. Next one is DPN register. Then insurance register, there is an insurance separate register is there, you have to verify the insurance register, borrower name, products insured, due dates, banker class should be there. Next point is last year MOC register you have to ask, what is the last year MOC register, this year MOC register you have to ask and you have to compare it. Then DACGC register, now it is not there. CGT MSC register, so this is also another very big area, please concentrate all the MSME loans. The banks, they have to pay the insurance premium every year. Suddenly the banks started to pay the premium. And if the party account has become NPA, they have to sell the property. It is not possible. Unless until the policy is renewed, the payment will not be there. So it is also a very big area wherein you can concentrate. Next area is export credit guarantee commission register, then claim register, then subsidy register. How many types of subsidies, sir? There are 2 types of subsidy. One is front-end subsidy, the second one is back-end subsidy. Front-end subsidy you have to adjust immediately on receipt of and sanction of the loan, but back-end subsidy you have to adjust only at the end of the loan. And for this there is a separate sanction letter will be sent by the from the government to the bank. And whenever you are going for the bank audit, please see the subsidy register folio. If there is any debit in the subsidy register, where it has been adjusted and whether the subsidy adjustment is valid or not, that you have to see. So in regarding the subsidy, if there is a lock-in period of 3 years for regarding back end subsidy, and if the subsidy is adjusted between the 3rd year and 4th year, only 50% of subsidy you can adjust, and remaining 50% you have to return to the government. And in between 3rd year and 4th year and 5th year, if it is adjusted, only 75% subsidy are eligible, and if it is adjusted after 5th year, then only 100% subsidies are there. So subsidy register is a very big area. Please concentrate. Lot of frauds have taken place in this subsidy. Next area is deposit lien register, bank guarantee and LC register. In that, beneficiary name, bank guarantee, LC commission received, period of bank guarantee, then invoked or not, that you can see from the BG register, due but not renewed. Next register is loan return of register. There is a loan return of register. Please ask and verify this, whether the loan return off is done properly or not. Who has given the sanction letter to write off the loans, that also you have to verify. Surfacing notice register, packing credit register, bill discount register, fraud report register. So fraud report, like LFAR, there is a specific column in the fraud. There are 4 types where you have to report. Fraud report register, CESI forms register, system maintenance register, disaster plan register of at the branch level, then stationary stock register, stand stock register, then petty cash register, suspense account register, sundry assets register, bills payable register, sundry deposits register. Next one is list of overdue deposits, list of inoperative accounts, list of dormant account details. What is the difference between dormant and inoperative? So an account has not in operation. For the first period of 1 year it is called as dormant. After 1 year it will be called as inoperative. And service charges circular. So please, whenever you are going for the audit, please get the service charges circular. From there you can get a lot of information. and other auditors file, say concurrent audit, stock audit, revenue audit, RBI audit, inspection reports that you have to ask for your verification. Then log reports, inter-branch reconciliation statement, foreign exchange details register, clearinghouse register, that is trade fund sales, then check return register. This is one of the very big area, check return register. You have to see the reasons why the checks have been returned. Because under section 138 of NA Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, only the checks have been filed.
Lights are on.
So I have to close. Sir, red news off.
Sir, you have cleared all our doubts. So we are bright looking now.
So clearing check register, SHG register, that is self-help group register, then the list goes on. There are so many registers. For each and every register I can speak about, I need some 15 to 20 minutes time for each and every register, but for want of time I'm just closing the session, and I'm very, very happy. And today's presentation, the cricket match, opening bat வந்து புடிச்சு பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கான். They are scoring the runs, but நாங்க பேட் ரிவியூ சும்மா உட்கார்ந்துட்டே இருப்போம். கடைசியா வந்து முடிக்கும்போது என்ன ஆகும்னா அந்த குல்தீப் யாதவ்லாம் வருவான். கடைசியா வரும்போது என்ன ஆகும், மேட்ச் முடிய ஸ்டேஜுக்கு வந்துடும். அந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு வரும்போது காலையில் வரும்போது ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர்ஸ் ஒரு 200 மெம்பர்ஸ் இருந்தாங்க. தென் அடுத்த செக்ஷனில் 150 வந்தாங்க. தென் ஆஃப்டர்நூனில் ஒரு 100 இருக்காங்க. இப்போ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 40 மெம்பர்ஸ் ஆர் 45 மெம்பர்ஸ். ஜஸ்ட் லைக் கிரிக்கெட் இன்னைக்கு டோர்னமெண்ட் போச்சு எனக்கு. அண்ட் ஆக்சுவலாக I'm very much thankful to the SARC and particularly to the SARC Secretary for giving me the very big and golden opportunity to me to present the paper before you. And I wish you all the best for your profession. One bank audit mattu nabi irakadi. Professional opportunity bank la ekkachakama irukku. 67 opportunity na identify panni. So why not you can do the practice. Even there is one course in Forex, import and export procedures course that is free of cost. It is conducted by DGFT. You please go through that course. It's a central government course, free of cost. If you clear that course, the examination fees is only 1,500. For the course learning, the cost is 0. You can practice in import and export procedures. So there are so many avenues available. Don't worry about the audit. We have got very big and very bright future in banks. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Please just have 2 minutes only, 1 minute only. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ravindran sir, for your patient speech, because after 6 o'clock you continued, and our members also listened you hearing your speech. I thank you for your contribution to the bank audit seminars everywhere in the branches of SARC. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of SARC, I want to give a memento to you, sir. Thank you once again.